Welcome to K Plus FM.
Jeff King in the morning. Tell us what time it is.
And it's sunny out here in California.
Oh, I should have taken some Viagra.
Checkity, check. And with the microphone situation figured out, let's blast off. RJ, you want to do the honors?
No, Steven's not here. That's his thing. You do.
Should we just do complete silence?
Let's just stare at the camera and do it.
Welcome to Bandhouse Podcast.
We'll call it power silence.
Should have been here, Steven. It's your fault.
I told him to take the week off.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All right, Bandhouse Podcast. We got RJ filling in for Steven this week. And I'm on this crazy couch over here, which is comfortable, but also has the same problems as...
I think your mic just went out.
Your mic did just go out, I've got to say.
Microphone 1 2.
There we
All
go.
right, we're back in. Guys, we have a special band with us today. And we're missing one member of the band, and we won't say which instrument that member plays drums.
Is there a connection?
It's just a
I'll
coincidence.
say as a drummer, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. The Scoffs!
Hello.
Hooray!
Your mom's favorite band, for sure.
That's right.
We're your new favorite
mom's
group right
favorite
now.
band.
I'm on this new hooray and yippee kick. 'Cause
Yeah.
no one says either of those anymore. Woo. And so at all shows I go to, hooray! and
Hooray!
Yippee!
Dude, there's a TikTok trend. It's the hooray!
Oh, is there?
Yeah, it's like
Well,
people
that
do...
ends today. That ends today, then. Hooray.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like people do something really sick, like a crazy 100-foot surf, and then the audio is hooray.
Oh,
So
I was ahead of the curve.
now
catch
that's
myself
right.
saying hooray every
Now you know.
Yeah, I like that. Let's bring it back.
So where are you guys from? Seattle?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
On. That's cool. That's
Kind
what
of
I
spread
figured.
out over Seattle, and Rob, the other guy's in Everett, so
Nice.
In fact, he's still in Everett.
he's not only from
Apparently
there,
He'll be in Everett.
he's still there.
Yeah.
That would be Mars, sir.
Do you guys practice in?
We do. So in North Seattle,
Seattle.
we're sort of. Would anyone like the address? So we, no, we're not there. No, but we're like kind of North Gate, Greenwoodish.
Right on.
sort
Okay,
of,
cool.
Yeah, just off of Aurora. where
Northwood.
It is very. It's interesting when we go out for the halftime and we're waiting. We are about a block off of Aurora, so the street in front of where we are is kind of a staging area for.
Sex workers.
For people who
I was not on that. I was
who work
thinking
in the evenings and stuff
staging
like that.
gear.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
no,
cool.
so they're staging.
You know, there's a
outfit
Lowe's I
changes
drive
and-
to every now and then
Yeah.
to get hardware
Yes,
stuff.
yeah. So if you were just right up from the Lowe's, we're at about
Yep.
97th-ish street there, and so
I used to work out there,
it
too.
gets interesting.
Wait, tell us where that is so we know where not to go.
Yeah,
Is that a practice space, like an official type, or is it a house? that you guys-
no, it's a house. Sorry, practice space.
It's
Cool.
It's been one for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
it called?
Gravity Studios,
Sorry. Shout out to Gravity
I
Studios.
kind of
'Cause I've
missed
been looking for
that.
a place to like set up my kit.
but it's an auto repair shop. You would never know there's practice
Oh.
spaces there.
Oh,
so
that's
it's-
kind of cool.
So it's kind of cool. So we're in a locked fence, so it's super secure, and you would never know there's music happening.
It had a
from
lot
outside.
of Hesher bands practicing there for years.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I understand. It was like kind of a metal spot. And
Yeah, yeah.
so it's kind of hidden in
That's
an auto shop.
dope,
You wouldn't
dude.
know it's there. So.
Already off to a cool start. Yeah, learning new spots. Because me and Steven used to have a practice space, but also I hated driving to it. I like this isn't where I live, so I like this much better. But when you don't have a cool friend who lets you have his entire downstairs as a basement studio, the next best option is
true.
a
Nice.
practice
A
space.
central spot. Yeah.
I'm very
yeah.
thankful my girlfriend has let me have at least one bedroom of our apartment.
Me too.
It's still not enough.
She
but
said,
it's-
"Yes, guys."
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
That must be a trek though for you guys. We're down here in Seattle.
Well, he lives here. Magnolia for me.
Steven's in
That's a newer
Graham. That's
thing.
another 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tell
Bethel High.
us about Graham. Yeah, Bethel. All right,
Graham
very cool.
fucking sucked.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It
I
was
wish
me,
Steven
the
were
only
here.
person with a mohawk, and a bunch of loggers.
Yeah.
How do you think those fights went?
And GK, Graham Kapowson
Oh, yeah.
High School.
Yeah.
That's a thing I know about Graham.
Yeah. We're all from the area. We all grew up around
Yeah,
here.
yeah, Puyallup.
Yep.
Oh,
Graham.
That's the hub. That was the hub.
Yep.
I moved around and stuff, but I like this Bonnie Lake secret area out here. Other than it's like super sketch to invite strangers out to the freaking but
I'm like, what the fuck?
we
Where
appreciate
are
you
they
guys for
taking you?
driving out. I know the first time I came out here, I was like, Aaron, what did you get yourself into?
It's
When
funny
did you know
because
you're going to be murdered on
Yeah.
camera?
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
when I said, yeah, we'll pop out and do the podcast, I was thinking it was shot in Ballard.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah,
I was like, oh shit, that's a slag.
It is-
Slug.
it is a slug.
Slag
Yeah.
is an ex of mine.
We're like, Jinky Scoop.
That's-
Crap,
I was thinking
we
of someone
gotta
else.
travel.
yeah. Well, again, I appreciate you guys coming down, man.
So
It means
happy
a
to
lot.
do
That's
it.
quite
Happy
a
to
trek
do
for
it.
you.
We'll get a
guys.
Seattle studio. He lives, like you said,
Yeah.
he lives there. So
We'll do
we're gonna-
we'll do the remote podcast at MySpace.
your living room would be a good podcast.
Yeah.
Like road setup, and we could tear down and not leave it there.
Yeah, man, I want to.
So with my basement.
Yeah, well, it's only fair. We got to go to their basement after this.
That's true.
No, it's been good, and the more bands we have out here, the more people will see that we're not murderers.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Track record.
I think the
We haven't
pants on-
killed
It's
anybody.
It's all about consistency.
It
It's like
is.
track record.
Yeah.
Didn't happen
Right.
the second episode, third, fourth,
Yeah.
Yeah.
50th. You're like, all right.
We'll
Those
do like
guys
a
aren't
pants
killers.
off, dance off with some band that
Yeah, yeah,
wants
yeah,
to,
yeah.
but you know.
Speaking of pants, he's answered the question about sweats in public. Didn't you pose that this past week? Like,
Yeah, dude, because that's all I wear is sweats. I'm like, I got to get a feel on this. You guys are all wearing jeans. I was gonna actually wear jeans just for the podcast.
I should have wore
Didn't.
sweats if I knew.
Totally didn't.
I changed into my jeans because
I feel it. Dude.
I won't go anywhere without
Jeans. You're a jeans guy.
I'm a jeans person.
We've
man.
covered that topic. You're a jeans
Gene Simmons.
fan.
it's
did
funny.
just get
I
some
actually
jeans.
sleep in jeans, but I go out in sweats.
That would be wild. That gives me anxiety thinking about sleeping
I
in
sleep in
jeans.
clothes and go out in the nude. Jail time.
Hey, I
It
see
just
Van-
depends on where. Jail time's only applicable if it's within 500 feet of a school.
Yes, or if it's not Brazil.
Yeah.
That's funny. RJ, what were the
Sir.
questions you had for him? Related to
I want to know. I really want to know. We were listening to. I've been listening to it for a few days, but we listened to the album you guys just put out. Very good, by the way.
Thank you.
Very
I like
much.
both. I like the 2020 album, the
Oh, the
one with the
EP?
red on it. I don't remember the
The original,
name
like
of
the
it.
original EP.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was dope. There's some good songs.
Talk
on
is
there.
cheap EP. Yeah.
The album is great, though. I think I'm the resident punk fan of our band. I grew up listening to punk, and so I was trying to I was trying to figure out who your influences are. I want to know who influenced you.
Well, can I turn the question around for half a second first?
Sure.
Who would, when as you're listening to it,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
would you think?
Okay. I hear a little bit of the Buzzcocks.
Okay.
Some later Misfits stuff, a little bit, some of the darker guitar tone there.
I love the guitar tone.
Yeah.
Every song on that 2020 EP, it was like, I wish I want to do a band like that with that tone. Just,
Yeah.
I think that was my first band, was a punk band, but I didn't I didn't learn the lore. I'm not a punk. I had to bring RJ in, or else me and Steven would look stupid, dude.
I hear a lot of maybe some like East Bay punk rock influences too.
Okay.
Like Californian
Dead
California
Kennedy
scene.
stuff.
Yeah, totally.
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's see. For my influences, and I'm the singer guitarist.
Okay.
So I wrote the words that you hear on there, and I'd say my influences are Buzzcocks was definitely
Okay.
Nice.
one of the ones that I kind of leaned on for inspiration for
Love
some
it.
of those.
He called it. Yeah, that's what you said right
That was the
away.
first one I called.
And 999, which you may not be familiar with. They're not as big as some of the others.
I'm not sure, yeah.
Stiff Little Fingers.
Okay.
Yes.
Misfits is definitely somewhere buried in the Witch's Brew there. Generation X, Billy Idol's first band, is a
Yep.
big one. And there's a band called Chelsea that he started out in that was actually... So the song On Fire that we do on the album is a Chelsea song. And that I sent to the other guys and I said, this is the kind of stuff I want to do. So let's learn this song. And when we showed up for our first practice, we all knew it and we just played it and it felt like we'd been a band forever. So
That's so
Those are-
rare, too.
It's
That's
the greatest
awesome.
feeling in the world.
Dude, Steve, can I say something real quick? Just by the sound of your voice, I'm going to listen to all those bands. I'm going to check all those bands out. They sound so tight. You're like Billy Idol's first band. Like, people don't know. He was in the super. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm about to go figure that shit out. Seriously, I'm not
I
even
feel like we
joking.
need a 1-800 number in here.
I'm all
man.
inspired.
People are going to be charged.
But no, I love your voice and the lyrics.
call me
dude. I
now.
love all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we got
Well,
guitar.
Nate has that OnlyFans still. So.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing another guitar and a bass player over here then.
Bass player and guitar. Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. Cool.
Nice.
I'm the new guy though.
All right.
Oh yeah. How long have you been in?
August,
few weeks.
right? Yeah.
Oh wow.
Sick.
August, September, something like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
August.
tight, dude. How's it been?
It's been amazing.
You like, yeah?
Yeah.
They treat you good, or they give you the Jason Newsted treatment?
Oh man, of course I get the Jason Newsted treatment.
He gets half and half.
It's
yeah.
amazing.
It depends
It's so
on
fun.
the alcohol level.
My feelings have only been hurt once, so I mean that's pretty good. But our chemistry is unparalleled.
Dude, you guys sound awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Like joining this band, it was funny because Nuck, he told me, he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna call that guy. He's too busy. Blah blah blah. He texted me. He's like, you want to be in this band? I'm like, yes.
yeah, I do.
It's like
That's good.
such a quick reply.
That's
because
tight.
I'm like,
That's awesome.
fuck yeah, you guys are kidding.
How'd you guys meet?
Oh god.
So Steve and I, Nuck and I were in. I'll get better about that. Nuck and I were in a previous
I'm both.
band. So yeah. So Nuck did, you might know, this band called Drag Strip Riot for a long time, decade or more,
familiar.
and they got together with the original lineup, and it was just, I mean, not to make a long story longer. The reunion he was going to do with the original members, everyone was like, oh yeah, we're on board, and the bass player decided, oh, my wife won't let me do that. But I used to do music photography, and so I sort of traveled with the band, and so I probably went to more than 100 shows.
Damn.
I mean, every show they played for 6 or 8 years.
He was our main photographer.
I mean, I did like all the, and I mean, so did their
And a
stuff,
close friend, yeah.
and then and then we got to be buddies, and I did music photography, several media outlets around town and away from here and things like that, and so well, I know the songs, I've heard them hundreds of times,
Right.
and so he was in a tight spot because he had these shows booked at the Sunset and Dante's in Portland and the Crocodile.
Tight.
And he's like, my name's going to be Mud if we can't make this happen, because I have these, like, well, I think I know him, and I have a bass. I think I could do it. And he's like, well, here's the catch. I'm going in for oral surgery, so we're not going to be able to do a practice really where I can sing along with them. But we sat at a little restaurant over in Bellevue, and he's like, well, yeah, what you think it is, like, here's the chord. We sort of made a chord chart. I did a little cheat sheet practice, and he sort of was in, and we did a practice or two, and then we headed off to Portland to play this show.
What, did you
Wow.
play bass at all before?
Like
maybe a
I
little?
like every bass player started with a guitar.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then, But I'd always had a bass. I have an uncle who was a really amazing bass player.
Okay,
so he was just around,
in
and
the
when he
family.
passed away a few years ago, I inherited his
Sorry to hear
really
that.
fancy.
That's exactly like me.
70.
Holy shit.
He had a fancy
That's true, he does have a
77
bass.
P bass.
And
so,
dude,
it's like
this is the most insane.
Yeah.
My uncle was a touring musician,
Yeah.
bass player.
Yeah.
Passed away, and I inherited his '66 Jazz.
Yeah. It is
That's
like,
crazy.
here's this thing that I saw him play since I was
Well,
a
my
teenager.
uncle passed away.
Yeah.
And he played guitar, so I have a bunch of Gibsons.
Yeah. But it was
My uncle didn't give me shit.
fortuitous that it just worked out this way.
Yeah.
where- and
He's like, hey, do you take pictures? I think you could play the bass.
yeah.
You get photography? Perfect. Let's do it.
So we did about a year run of that, and then it didn't end well. I mean, in hindsight, it's always hindsight. Things work out exactly as they're supposed to.
Wait. How was the first gig in Portland?
It actually went. I think all of them went well.
Dude,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
is
nice.
you are the
That's
musician to have
nerve-wracking.
around, though, man. Seriously, someone that can just like. How many times have we had a gig where like all of a sudden, like 3 weeks before, it's like, oh shit, our drummer can't be at the gig, or our bass player can't. And it's like we either have to play
It's
musical
him
chairs
both
and,
times,
like,
by the way.
figure it out.
Whether it's
Yeah,
drummer
yeah.
or bass player, it's both him.
yeah.
I'm the float.
But
typically.
it's super fun. Is like the last time I'd been in a band, it ended very poorly, and it was like, I don't know if I ever want to do it again. So I love the photography.
Gotcha.
And
Okay,
it's
cool,
like,
cool.
all right, let's do it. And it went great. And we did a run of shows, and about a year, like I say, about a year-ish, and then it just kind of petered out. And I'm like, I'd kind of like to keep playing. And Nuck's like, yeah, I'd like to keep playing too, but I want to do something completely different. I don't want to do version 2.2 or 5.2, whatever it is. Like
What kind of music was that band?
sort of.
Blues, rockabilly, punk. It was like Americana.
So real bass line sounding.
Yeah. And so it was
That would
sort
have
of
been hard to. I mean, I don't know the songs. But
social distortion.
there could be some movement in the bass line there.
Yeah. And so it was interesting enough. Like, it was fun, and it was fun being on stage and all that stuff. But both wanted to keep doing. He's like, hey, check these things out, like this Chelsea song, and like, how do you feel about that? And so we gave it a week or two, and like, all right, let's get together. And he's like, well, I know these other two guys. And we got together with Rob, the drummer, that Nuck had known from another band, and it just like it was like immediate. And then found the guitar player who wanted to play, and it just like fell into place. And so it was really like, I mean, as you said, couldn't have said it better. It's like we had been a band for a long time.
That's such a good feeling.
And it was like couldn't have been better. And I think it's so rare. Like, so it when you feel that, right? That. Okay, it's fun to jam with anyone, but when you're like, oh no, like we played this song, like anyone have any ideas? And so we just started jamming on things, and like
it doesn't feel hard.
This is forced. It didn't feel hard.
Just comes out naturally.
Yeah. I mean, it felt hard because I was pretty excited about it.
Yeah. But it was an easy hard.
Yeah.
Dude, the last time I've been in a band like that was I won't say any names, Miguel and Sean.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're great guys, but we all jammed so good together. But the one dude took so many fucking dabs. I couldn't keep up. I couldn't believe how much dabs he was doing. It's not necessarily why I quit, but the drummer then went to jail on the day of a gig, and then like
that always hurts.
And I was like,
you're not just not available, but you're really not available.
We can't like coerce him out.
Yeah.
I've certainly been
convince
there.
him. Yeah.
I've been there. Yeah. We had a drummer in my previous band that literally made a fort of couch cushions at his friend's house and hid when the bass player and I were looking for him.
I mean, first of all, that sounds super fun. Second of all, why would he do that?
I don't know.
Why would he bail on you
guys?
guys?
Too drunk, like too early, and he made a couch fort and hid from us.
Was he drinking LSD?
No, he was drinking lots and lots and lots of
I've
Schmitz.
never been that drunk to where I made a fucking couch fort.
And where I thought that would work.
Debatable.
Yeah.
I've definitely made couch forts.
Debatable, yeah.
I never thought it would work.
Yeah.
I mean,
he thought it, and you found him.
Oh no,
it
we
didn't
didn't.
work.
We had to cancel the show.
Oh, it did work then.
We went. Yeah, it worked. We went to the dude, this guy Mike. We went to his house.
You're like, there's nothing in here but a couch
and he's
fort.
like, yeah, no, I haven't seen Graham at all.
It worked.
Right? He was
You just said his name.
Oh yeah. Hi, Graham.
We'll bleep it out.
I'll beep it out.
We'll make a mark
No,
here.
you don't have to.
All right, we'll leave it in. We'll leave
knows.
it in.
We'll leave it.
Definitely
now.
leaving that in.
Yeah.
This was in.
I'm leaving Miguel's name in.
This was in like the early '90s.
Yeah.
So in.
Yeah.
That band was called Bristle, and we were just kind of coming up, and he got it together eventually, and he's kicking ass now.
Good,
so.
yeah. That's less awkward to talk shit when the person's doing good now.
And still making couch forts.
Still making couch forts.
Professionally, though.
He's
for a
in
living.
right now.
Yeah,
He'll be watching this from his couch fort.
To each their own. There's YouTubers that make a living doing shit like that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. He's monetizing it.
Yeah.
Oh, and how I know this guy over here, like he said, his old band Bristle. So I had a band when I was a teenager that was playing shows around the same clubs as Bristle. And so I knew him kind of come. I mean, we didn't know each other well. I didn't, go watch romantic movies with him or anything. But
Sure.
Not yet.
Right. That came
Not that he knew of.
but knew of and played with and stuff. And so I'd see him around the Seattle area. And so by the time his other band, Dreadful Children, was playing, my old band, Drag Strip Riot, was doing shows with him and stuff.
Nice.
And so, it was just kind of like we all knew each other and all just kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
That's tight.
Yeah. I've never been in a band before that was so easy to just lock in with.
Right.
This is the only time it's ever
So then
happened.
what's the plan?
Onward and upward. We just recorded some more stuff.
Tight.
Nice.
Yeah, we have another EP's
Where
worth
at?
of.
Home recordings or?
No, we do it at No Count Studios on Capitol Hill with Evan
I know that
Foster.
studio.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to
Evan Foster's the guy that's done all those sounds that you've heard.
Me like it.
Yeah, those tones and stuff. He helped dial those in. I described what I wanted, and he said, I think I got you, bro.
Yeah.
What you want to do is you want to get this Fender Blackface from. So I got this one from 1966, right? And so he'll bring out this stuff.
Hell
He's got
yeah.
this closet full of shit. No, it's not a closet. It's an entire
Room.
Yeah.
This is I mean, you've seen the
Shelves,
studio. All those amps around the side, those are Evan's amps.
I haven't actually been to that studio.
okay.
I've worked with people that have worked in that studio.
So I mean, I'm using my stuff plugged in with his stuff. It's a little mix of both, but so I mean, he knows how to dial in exactly what I'm looking for. And so I said, I
That's
want
True
helpful.
engineer,
Oh,
audio
yeah.
engineer mentality.
yeah,
that have,
Big difference
like, oh,
too
you
when
need to use this amp.
he's a musician in various
Right.
successful bands, so he's like, oh,
Boss
I get
Martians.
how all this works, and
Tight.
Dirty
Tight.
Sidewalks and Boss Martians and all that stuff, and so
the Sonics.
yeah.
Tight.
Oh, really?
Tight.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's toured with them. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
That's
he's like,
sweet.
oh, and he knows his way around the board and knows when we send him hey, here's kind of what we're going for. Like mentioned the Buzzcocks, Generation X, 999 stuff. He's like, oh, I know what you're talking about. Or when Nuck wanted to dial in, I want a Steve Jones, sort of tone for
Johnny
this particular thing. He's like,
Thunders.
oh, I got the right phaser for you. I know all these kind of things.
That's a helpful guy.
So he's like,
That's
it
a
speaks
true
the
producer.
same language, and it just then makes it's such a great experience in the studio.
Nice.
And he's got this amazing coaching style instead of, no, that's not good.
Right.
He's like, so how about, and he's got, he knows how to sandwich, right? You're supposed to make the shit sandwich, right? I'm going to tell you something good, and then the bad, and
I
then
never
the
know
good.
about this.
And
That's
so
good.
it's like how you encourage, right?
Compliment
It's
sandwich.
The sandwich, and so it's like, this was great. I think we could do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
But I'm loving what I'm hearing so far. And it's
RJ,
like,
your hair looks super good. Can you talk closer into the mic? Also, I like those
I love
shoes, man.
those
Those are
shoes. Yeah,
kicks.
yeah,
Those are
yeah.
sweet kicks.
Was that quiet that whole time?
Yeah, it was a little quiet.
That was a
Okay.
delicious shit sandwich.
yeah. Nobody's feelings were hurt.
and you'll take away.
You know what's crazy?
My
is
hair
I
is
didn't
great and
fucking
my shoes are
realize
great.
you were doing that until you said it. I was like, oh yeah, got it.
So the rest of the show, he's like, okay, I'm talking closer to the
Can
mic.
you hear
now."
me?
I'm running out of two
that's
good things
why.
every time I need to tell you something.
It's like, oh, there we go. It was dead.
Everything's
That's why.
dead.
Well, it died.
Fail
temporarily.
button if you want.
Yeah, it's probably worth it now. God, what a great addition.
It is a good button.
We needed
Yeah,
that.
I inherited that from my uncle too.
Just don't confuse it with that one that orders shit from Best Buy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
The red button thing.
yeah.
You'll end up with a
fucking
bunch of
robot
packages.
shows up.
Amazon brings you more toilet paper or
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
is when you push that button. Yeah.
They should bring me more of these adapters every time we press it.
I know. Seriously,
That'd be
All of
awesome.
them.
We need a Guitar Center guy again.
You said so. Yeah, we still have those.
Okay, good.
You said Johnny Thunders. I want to transition to, speaking of Johnny Thunders, like gear talk.
Gear time.
Because
Here we
I-
go, because I know what's coming down after
It's a
this.
perfect
so-
transition.
Well, I was just gonna. Well, the reason Johnny Thunders reminded me of it is because I was looking at Rock and Roll Relics guitars. If you guys are familiar, and they have the Thunders model, which is like how Gibson should be making the
Right.
Les Paul Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know if you guys have set your hands on those, but they're like
Absolutely.
The greatest
I have a
guitars.
melody maker, which is really
sick.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tight.
I haven't touched the Relics brand yet. I mean, I've looked at them online and I thought that looks like a really good.
When Billy
well-made-
Joe from Green Day, who's like an avid collector of juniors and specials, started playing them, I was like, they've got to be good. If they're up to like his like vintage taste,
Because he can get anything otherwise. yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're making them for him now. And the first time I put my hands on one was at Thunder Road in Seattle, in West Seattle, and they are killer. So I want to know
Awesome.
what everyone's. So you have a melody maker, vintage, newer.
I have a newer melody maker, but
Okay.
that's my backup guitar.
Okay, what's the main?
I play a Telecaster
Solid.
with a hot rail in it, so it's got a humbucker.
Okay,
Sick.
nice.
So I don't get a lot of that 60 cycle, and a hot rail, it's got bars instead of dots.
Dude, I had a hot rail
Yeah.
once. I'm just remembering this guitar. I regret selling it. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, this thing
Don't sell your
screams.
shit
I put
ever.
it in. I installed it myself. I do my own setups and all
Really?
that stuff.
Oh God, teach us how.
That's
We're
again.
so
we
bad.
were talking
We're
about that
both
all
so
day.
bad
Yeah.
at it.
It's a lot easier than people think. but-
Good,
yeah,
because
but
I'm
people just do
kind of a
them
part
wrong.
dummy. I don't really.
Our buddy Steven is probably the only one that's well versed at it, and I don't even think he's that great
Yeah, I'm
at
a
it
part-time
either.
dummy for
Yeah.
sure.
For sure. Me too.
Yeah, I just upped my string gauge to 54 to 13.
Woo!
You're touching close to what Stevie used 14s, right?
He used
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
anywhere from
Yeah.
12 to 16 on the E, and then like
Jesus
probably down to
Christ.
54 or
It
something.
just works better with higher gain, right? It's more smooth.
Sure.
I can
Tight.
hear it. Some people say, "Oh, the string gauge doesn't matter," but I can hear it.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
can feel it.
Well,
So-
and when you're doing punk and you're laying into it too.
serious, you know.
Plus,
I
yeah, it's a
popped
good-
2 strings our first 2 shows.
I read something about Billy Joe like
Yeah.
using 10s or 9s. I think he uses super slinkies.
Whoa,
it's like,
really?
how the hell do you keep it in
Yeah.
tune when you're going full?
Maybe he has
elbow
lighter
down?
picks.
Maybe it's
Maybe that's
He's a
true.
gentle touch.
Yeah,
I use
the
a
touch.
1mm pick.
I use 10s and I use 0.96 millimeter picks, and I bang the shit out of that
That's
guitar.
good. That's
and
good
it stays in tune because if you wiggle the peg when you set the string, it doesn't go out of. And if you stretch the shit out of
Right,
them,
right, right.
Stretch the shit out of them.
And
Dude, I was
seem to do okay.
thinking about a podcast, a one-on-one podcast called like Changing Strings, or something
Everyone just
better
change
than that.
strings together?
But invite a different luthier or guitar
big.
player and take one of these guitars and set it up and teach people how to set it up and teach them about how to find the year of the guitar.
String theory.
That's it. Oh my God,
man.
that's it. That's so
That's a free
sick.
one right there. You can have
Hell
that.
yeah.
That's so sick, dude.
Brilliant.
We'll discuss trademark after we take But anything, it would be a fun idea, I think, and it would be a cool way to myself learn and also share information on the internet about guitars.
Oh yes.
It's mostly so we can just have a luthier in here to teach us how to do shit correctly.
There you go.
You're like, okay, now do this one.
So we're going to
Okay,
start
now
with
do
all
this
of
one.
those over there first. And like week 9, you can bring one of yours in.
Yeah.
Taylor, your collection.
Well, that would be
needs some
cool
help,
too.
man.
The guest brings one of theirs, I bring one of mine, and we can. That'll be a longer episode.
He does yours.
Yep.
We do each other's
you do each
guitars.
other's.
Yes.
So scary. It's like, here's my
You can
grandpa's
touch
guitar.
mine if I can touch yours.
Yeah.
But only at the same time.
Yeah. I want you to look me in the eyes while you do it.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
Oh my god.
And this is how you intonate the
Yeah. Oh, intonation is very. Yeah.
So gear.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Yeah.
10s, that's what I use too.
And yours is his main one, other than the Telecaster, is
oh.
Ibanez too. You got an old.
I have that Ibanez Artist. It's a 1981. It's got
Whoa.
the tone
Oh, cool.
switches. Right, those
vintage.
three-way tone toggles on Super 58s or Super 78s. I can't remember.
nice.
That's that sort of lawsuit era, right? Of
That is the
Ibanez,
lawsuit era.
Looks
That-
like a
Yep.
where they
It's an AR350.
That'd be the Les Paul kind of looking one, correct?
Yeah, but it's the double cutaway, like
right.
a
like a
junior.
special. Or
Yeah.
a junior, yeah. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
No, I love that guitar too, but I mean the Ibanez is serving all of my purposes, and running that through the orange with 212s,
Sweet.
with vintage 30s.
Yeah. Rock Reverb, what are you using for orange?
Orange Rock Reverb Mark III.
Solid.
Yeah, it's got the better gain stages.
Nice. Yeah, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I love orange amps so much, and I think they're probably some of the best made amps out there. I can never get the tone that I want out of them.
Really?
Everyone else can. It's like how I feel about Vox. Most people feel the same way about, like, I love
do
the
feel that way.
AC30, and I feel
Yeah.
like I can get
Oh, there's an
anything I want.
AC30 coming. Chris had an
Fuck
AC30
outta
too.
here, no way.
It's just I haven't got it yet.
Oh, man.
A lot of your tones in your fingers.
I agree.
Yeah.
I settled on I went boutique, and I got a Bad Cat amp, which is kind of Vox Marshall hybrid.
Yep.
And
a
it's
cool
like the
amp.
most dynamic amp ever, right? If I hit it quietly, it stays quiet, and if I dig in, it really
magic.
That's awesome.
crunches
So it's like
up,
a
man.
Mox.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. I love it. It's a Mox.
Super sweet amp, dude.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
one of the big mistakes people make with orange is they gain, and you don't want to do that. You actually want to back off the gain and use the two volumes. You got a volume and a master volume.
Yeah.
Use those to get the tone that you want. It's a much better, a much more organic and kind of thick, creamy sound.
We should emphasize that. You should look into this camera and say less gain.
Less gain is more with multiple guitars.
Hell
Yes.
Yeah, less gain always saves
Well,
the day.
I think it's just if it's
As long
a
as you can-
guitar-driven band.
yeah, as long
like,
as you can play on it.
less is more for sure. Like if you listen to like AC/DC was always the example of, like, oh, they're cranking their Marshall. It's like, go listen to Back in Black and
Isolated.
earlier. It's all so clean.
Right.
And they sound like a wall of sound.
It
That's
is
why
wild.
it stood out.
And Nate will blow your skirt up with one of his.
So
remixes.
I prepared ahead
Hell
for
yeah.
the so
Rig
I'm going to check all of the things that you guys don't like.
Here, hold on.
So So boys and girls.
No, we lost you again.
So
There we go. We're back.
Chris's cable. You can.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. Where's my camera?
right
Tight
there.
shot
That's right
here.
there.
there.
Yep.
We've got a few, but that's the main.
It is okay to play with a pick.
Yes.
Agreed.
That's another equally as good as
I
that
agree.
one.
And so
Yeah.
that thing that goes across, the more you know, right? The
Yep, yep, yep.
PSA thing.
The more you know.
The more you
Fine
know.
to use a
it's,
pick.
It's not even fine.
It's good.
It is better to use a pick.
Now we're talking.
It is better. Hot take.
I'm
better.
on board with this shit, man.
If you want to be heard, play with a pick.
That's true. Especially for punk. Especially for
Yeah.
dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
How the hell
so
could you
that's-
play punk without a pick?
Yeah.
You can't.
Some
You little weirdo.
Some do, and and are
Who are some
amazing.
famous bass players that do punk with fingers?
The
And you're
well, some of the tracks with Stiff Little Fingers, he definitely would do fingers.
What about Rancid?
Matt Freeman.
Oh, he's a pick.
He's
guy,
a pick guy.
Sounds like pick, but I
and
just
of
wanted
course
to-
the Ramones are pick guy,
Right,
and Jerry Only's a pick guy, and those kind of things. But there are some where you don't need the snap,
That'd be cool.
of course, where you
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
And some people have figured out how to get the snap by a straighter attack of your fingers instead of
Cliff Burton. I know it's thrash metal, but absolutely. Man, did he thrash with his fingers.
But 16th note and 32nd note, that's the exception rather than the rule.
Right. Tim Bristol
definitely
like pretty solid with fingers. Like
Tim Bristol's amazing and can walk around like that too, and with fingers. So
I think it's whatever fits the music.
Whatever fits the music. And so I was looking for a little more towards the snappier sort of P bass sort of tone, because that's what fit that. I mean, that's what people were playing in whatever our little subgenre is known as 77 punk, right?
Yeah.
So that sort of tone, and so I started with that bass that I inherited from my uncle for this band, and then I got a PVT 40 that I love playing, but it's where I found, and I play all the time now, I have 2 Epiphone basses. So not only am I playing with a pick, both of the basses I play are Epiphone.
Yeah.
But as we mentioned sort of in the beginning, it totally depends on the model and the year.
Totally.
So I would bet dollars to donuts if you turned your back or closed your eyes, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference of me playing this Epiphone versus the Gibson model. So the one I play, the 2 that I play the most that I bring with me, one is an Explorer, and so it's better looking than the bass you guys are playing for sure. So that it's a cool looking.
Zoom in on
it's
that.
a cool looking. It is a very cool looking bass. It's it's an Explorer, but a bass.
It's a Cortina, isn't it?
It's that Carina.
Carina. That's
Yeah. So
Cortana. It's a car.
Yeah.
Ford Cortina.
A Corona. Yeah. It's a
Corolla.
It's one of the Epiphone Coronas. But there was a little short period of time, late '90s, early 2000s, where before Epiphone left Korea. Yeah, they were making them in Korea.
The Peerless factory.
Yeah,
stuff.
and so they made them with super close to the specs of the Gibson ones.
Yeah,
and they made them with that Gibson trademarked or whatever Carina would.
People are figuring that out though.
Yeah.
Anything from the Peerless factory is selling for like what a used Gibson would sell.
Yes,
for
exactly.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Really?
Oh yeah. If you go on Reverb or anything, and you find like those like late '90s, even I can't remember when Peerless ended. I think it was like mid 2000s.
Yeah, so it's like this. It's a very short spot though,
yeah.
like a late '90s, very early.
I think it was like 2005 or something like that is when it
like
stopped.
That, yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I've been hunting an Epiphone Casino from that era for a long time. I've been looking for the right one.
So that sort of natural Explorer, and then the Epiphone was the Ripper, which is the take on their their grabber.
Oh, I didn't know
so
they
it's
made an Epiphone
slightly shorter.
That's cool.
So it's definitely not short scale, but it's like as the cases stand up, even it's about that much shorter. Partly because Explorer is odd on the back end, but it's just a little bit shorter.
Gibson. I mean, just as a brand, I feel like has really fallen out of the bass world. Like they have nothing to offer anymore.
Yeah.
I think they just I think they kind of folded and just
like,
realized
Fender's, it's not our thing.
I think they're just like, you win, Fender. But man, like the Ripper is such a cool bass. Like I wish they would do more reissues of some of these basses, or just bring them back into the lineup at all.
And then they're until they get popular as things ebb and flow, right? The PVT 40 used to be able to pick up for nearly nothing, and now they're $1,000.
Yep.
They were a $200 but American-made bass in Mississippi, but there's a weird in-phase, out-of-phase switch.
Yeah.
You can get like 10 tones out of them. You can make a Rickenbacker sound. You can get a jazz bass sound by fiddling with front pickup, back pickup, and then in phase or out of phase and all these things. So there's this weird little, clandestine community of PVT 40 lovers who, like, when they go for sale, like people snap them up. And I found one on one of the marketplace kind of things a few years ago. So I still break it out some, but mostly it's those 2 Epiphones.
Nice.
And it's also going to disappoint, a solid state amp.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm throwing it down.
Those are the 3 things.
Pick Epiphone, solid state amp.
We're being too snobby.
If this was 20 years ago, that would be crazy.
Yeah, you're like, get out of here.
Excommunicated.
Get the fuck out of here. But I don't blame you.
Yeah. Because it's that Rumble series.
God damn, those are the best amps.
The Fender Rumble?
Yeah.
The Fender Rumble, man.
I got one of those too.
They have a different magnet in them, and so they're super light. Yep. And so I can have literally bass case, amp, and walk down the stairs or up the stairs at a venue, and like I'm ready to roll.
That's so underrated.
I think those are the perfect like mid-tier bass amp. I mean, seriously, they are a perfect gig amp. They have like the studio version now that has like all the digital effects on them. If you want to just use something in the studio.
How many toms does your drummer use?
Ooh, he does
I'm gonna
2
guess,
racks and
man.
a floor.
That's not punk, man. You
I was
gotta
gonna say
have
one
down.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Well,
one.
it's
Right.
a 5-piece kit, and he uses all of it.
Yeah, and so that's often
I respect that.
playing
I do
shows you get asked like, "Oh, can we share drum kits?" He's like, "I really need to play my own." Because everyone does the one tom, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna hit something else over here." Because he's so used to using them. He's
That would
like,
suck to
he's
use other
all over
people's
the place.
gear.
I remember
Gear's
when I ditched the second tom. I remember Steven was the first one to. I think Steven and I were playing.
He criticized you about
something. Yeah, and I was like, "You're not even a fucking. You don't get to.
He
tell
doesn't
me
know
that."
shit about drums.
He's like,
put
"Well,
a drum
why
in
do you
front
want
of him.
more?" I was like, "Because I just want less."
Yeah,
I don't know. You get used to it after a while, though. Like I remember those first few months not having it there. You kind of miss it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're looking for that tone that you don't have anymore.
Well, I need sugar, or I can't impress anyone.
You need the Hawaii 5-0 kit.
Yeah, if I don't have 4 toms, I'm not playing anything. Because I can't keep a beat. I mean, I can, but it definitely slows down. I need to get that metronome.
Yeah. But it just looks so much cooler to have the ride here, man.
I've started taking 3 strings off.
Oh yeah, I do have that set up. Yeah.
Yes. I only need
do what?
I took 3 strings off.
Yeah.
Figure I just
he
use
just
3
uses
and
the
go way up the
meedly
neck,
me
you know.
strings.
Yeah, it's like reverse Keith Richards.
Do you both do leads or in rhythms, or is it a lead rhythm?
Little of both.
Little
Yeah.
of both. Tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean,
like Keith
what you
Richards.
hear on the recording is all me doing leads.
Oh, okay. Right on. With your one
Because Lonnie
string.
wasn't on the
I
recording.
was going to ask you, Lonnie. Yeah, so you're not on that record at all.
Good point. So we don't know the full sound.
But he will be on the new one.
I am
That's
on the new
awesome.
one.
Well, now's a good time to. Do you have an idea when it's going to drop?
No.
In fact, no idea.
But the new one,
Well, check it out. This episode, I think I mentioned it, but it won't post next Wednesday because I'm out of town. But it'll post
Fucker.
the following Wednesday.
Yeah,
So
it probably still won't drop by then either.
yeah. But maybe then they're seeing this now. It's February 20, whatever. Maybe it's a few months away, or is it?
It's
more
close.
like-
I mean, they're definitely recorded. We've gotten back and approved 3 of the 5
Tight.
mixes. There would be another EP. We
So
sort
excited.
of
It's gonna be
decided a
tight.
little while ago, like the EP is just a more fun way to, because you don't have to wait for 10.
Yeah, it's 10
Just
is
like
hard.
4 or 5.
Doing a whole album.
Get them out and
It's the way people are doing it now, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Everyone's
I'm,
dropping-
I'm gonna try one
It's
song.
like
or
the
4 song
TikTok
EPs.
of vinyl.
Yeah, it really
Instant
is.
gratification culture. I think like even huge name artists are doing 3 or 4 song stints. And
Yeah.
they do
Dude,
it, like,
Drake
once
was
or
on that
twice a year.
shit 10 years ago. I remember them like, why is this dude's making songs every week?
Yeah.
I mean, his songs are like, I mean, they're probably good. I don't know.
That's exactly
people
what they
say
sound
they're
like.
good.
Wow.
That was fucking perfect.
That was Drake,
they
right?
sound really good.
They said.
The idea is we'll do EPs, and then each LP, each full length is going to be
A
combination of those with some additional songs.
That's
that you don't
cool.
get
Yeah,
on the
nice.
EPs.
That'll be cool.
That's cool.
So, I mean, this one that we're riding on right now, it's new. It just came out at the end of November.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
so,
the full 4 of you on the recording.
Yeah. It's with Gabor, who was in the band prior to Lonnie joining. But that's cut from 2 different studios.
Oh, wow.
3 EPs, essentially. So we gave you 2 EPs that we'd put out. The first one, Talk is Cheap. The second one, Just Cause. And then we gave you a 3rd EP with, the other ones combined for an LP.
Yeah, I got you.
So what you hear on side 2 of our album is the first
Okay, right on.
first EP.
What about any gigs in March? You guys got any March or later gigs?
Help me
February
out here. I didn't
27th.
Yeah,
memorize
so couple. So we have one early March, I believe.
Okay.
But the one we're sort of the fun one we're really shooting for, where I feel like we're putting all of our metaphorical eggs in one big basket, is for the St. Patrick's Day, which is going to be super fun. So
Sweet.
you think we're doing original music with the occasional cover.
Tight.
We're asked to play this fun thing on St. Patrick's Day. Everyone wants to play the Pogues, right?
Yeah.
That ain't us. I mean, that's,
Sure.
that's so Nuck's idea was like, well, if I have to play Irish music, why don't we play Stiff Little Fingers?
Okay.
I dig
So
it.
we're gonna do a little mini set, 6-7 songs of our favorite Stiff Little Fingers.
No
songs.
flogging Molly covers.
Yeah,
No
the
Dropkick
the
Murphys?
Boston Irish, right? Instead of the actual Irish. Yeah.
I'd rather play Fast Way.
Yeah, I'd rather take a shower with my grandma than play
Whatever,
like
dude.
Flogging
Your
Molly,
grandma's
but-
hot.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, that's not a fair statement.
Not
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fair statement, man. She's a babe.
I mean, we
That's
all
so
would,
funny.
but that's beside the point. Come on.
yeah.
Okay, so what?
So that'll be super fun.
That's
cool.
And
Where's that at?
it's going to be at Slim's Last Chance in
March 17th.
March 17th, right on,
Oh, right,
on
right,
St.
right.
Patty's Day. Yeah.
Super cool.
And
We'll put
so-
a link if there's a link at the time
Yeah.
of editing. I'll put a link down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, check them out.
And
Yeah.
March 24 at at the Fun House in Seattle. We're
Okay,
playing with
sweet.
Channel 3,
That's
classic
gonna be super,
American
yeah,
punk
yeah,
band.
yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
And
I'd be
Yeah.
down
Yeah,
to
we'll
go
have
to
to
that.
check you guys
Yeah.
out. I would love to go to
That's
a
in
punk
my
show.
neighborhood.
That'd be
Come
fun.
out to a show.
I would love to.
Hell yeah.
And then
I haven't been to a good punk show in a really long time, man.
April, there's a couple. There's actually a fun place way up north in Oak Harbor, which is this actually very cool thing. This guy's taken over this old roller skating rink, and so back in
that sounds tight.
whatever 50s, 60s, that was the thing. That's where teenagers went, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so there's a place called the Roller Barn, and it is a barn.
That's cool.
But gigantic place.
Yeah.
And that's in Oak Harbor's where the Navy base has been. And so if you were in 1962, the 18-year-old kid away from home, first time in the Navy, where do you go? What do you do? So all these bands would come through and do those old showcase shows, right? And so this guy's decided, let's preserve this place and put on shows. And so he's kind of getting it back to make this a fun hangout again. And so they're doing shows more often. We played up there last summer, I guess. And it was super fun. They'll do like the big 6-band bills.
What's the name of the place?
The Roller Barn.
The Roller Barn
Yeah.
in Oak Harbor,
yeah.
dude. Check
Play
it
in the-
out. That's going to be tight.
Play in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
While kids are skating around.
Yeah.
No way. That'd be so
It's like
Yeah.
playing in the middle of a circle pit.
Dude,
Yeah.
lately after I've been doing gigs for a living for 5 years now, and I'm super into the unorthodox
Yeah,
gigs.
yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, it's not a bar. I did a gig that I actually have a reoccurring every 6 weeks or so at a art. They do art while I play a little jazz guitar. and
cool.
all that.
Oh, nice.
And I like that because
Yeah.
they're so focused that I can just kind of practice. But it sounds like I'm doing songs.
jazz
and
just
stuff.
sounds like practice
I
inherently.
know. Yeah, I just practice the same lick but on different scale degrees, and it's
Yeah.
music. Here we go.
Hit a bad note. That's jazz, baby.
And they're not gonna hear it. They're
Yeah.
doing their art. They're
Yeah.
working on their stuff. So it's like an easy.
There's a
And fun
there's a
gig.
roller rink in Puyallup called Tiffany's.
Yeah.
Right? It might be something different now.
I used to
don't know
go
if it's
there
something
when I
else.
was a kid, dude.
if they have
I don't-
high-end furniture in there, I don't think it's a roller skating rink.
Really?
Is there high-end furniture?
Oh, I thought you were serious. I was like, damn. really?
Tiffany
yeah.
lamps and
Okay,
shit.
I-
Oh, Tiffany.
Yes, yes, Tiffany's.
yes.
That's why it's painted light blue.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, he has a huge. He was one of my I did a pro audio install for him because he has AAA taste in sound gear, and he did this huge setup. And behind this wall, there's an old stage. It's like, dude, why don't you resurrect this? This would be awesome.
Yeah.
Have everybody skating around with a band up on one side.
Yeah, and it's being done. Send them the link.
I
Have
haven't talked to him in years, but
Okay.
super nice guy. I think he's I think he ran for Congress or not Congress or council or
He did
something.
some.
Have you guys not gone to a show
Diplomacy.
at the Southgate place in White Center?
No.
What place is that?
Roller
Southgate
skating
roller
rink.
rink.
Southgate
Oh, you're saying
roller
the
rink.
roll? Oh no, I never.
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't.
Been to
They're
a show,
pretty
though.
awesome.
It's on the circuit of as more venues sort of are lost, right? Of
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
venues here, they're closed.
Yeah.
It's the Southgate roller rink, and it's an old roller rink right on the main strip in White Center. And they have, touring bands will play there. They do a
that's
festival there kind of thing in the fall, the Rat City Recon. But they'll have touring-ish and regional bands play, every weekend.
Yeah.
And they have a permanent setup now. You play in the middle, and they have these sort of sandbag things around and power from the ceiling. And so you're playing your show, and people are skating
Yeah, I'm into
around
that.
you with the lights down. And
I'm trying to get
You
a
know,
skating gear.
Dude, that is
Yeah.
fucking awesome. We
it's
need to do
very
that.
cool. And, people are down on one knee and shooting the duck and, the whole bit.
Now, do you have to
skating
do
backwards.
a certain set list, or
No,
Do you have to
play-
play
you play
while
your
you're on
normal-
skates?
I think that'd be a cool
That would
rule.
be very cool. I
If
you
guys all went
with
me,
them.
but yeah.
Just get wireless systems.
dude? Yeah, the drummer's in the middle. You guys are all skating.
We're skating around them as you play.
Put the drummer on some of those moving
Yeah.
things, with the wheels.
Yeah.
The kids used to skate.
Yeah,
You know how
yeah,
much
yeah.
puke would be around that thing?
Spinning rod really fast. Just
But it's a very cool venue. So it's one of
Very
those
cool.
check of I want to do this
Gotcha.
at some point.
Oh,
of
man.
play the skating rink.
Yeah,
They also
yeah,
have a
that
small
one.
venue in the back, where you play on a little tiny stage, and they'll do smaller shows there too. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
super fucking
That's
fun.
really cool.
How common is that for venues to have two stages? Because the Fun House is another.
I went
example.
to one on Friday that was they were doing DJing stuff there. That one of Taylor's friends, for context, my girlfriend's also named Taylor, not this Taylor.
How confusing must that be?
Yeah.
It's pretty confusing.
Does she know if you're shouting his name or hers?
Yeah.
No, and I want to keep it that way.
Your secret
we went to
is
some.
safe.
we went to some place and it had like 2 stages. There was one in the back.
Yeah.
And weirdly, there's no like door or anything separate. It just acoustically it was well treated. And
Really?
you
You
couldn't
couldn't-
hear anything from one room to the other.
That's cool.
Awesome.
That is well treated.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Small place.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Substation does that. They have the
Substation,
two separate
Oh, yeah.
rooms, and
Chop Suey's done it.
Chop
They don't
Suey.
have 2 bands at the same time, but they use both stages.
Well, even El Corazon and Funhouse tried to stagger them a little bit.
Yeah. Does everybody have like a favorite venue in the greater Seattle area? You guys keep talking.
Oh,
Past, present, or future.
All of the above. You can say in the past. That's fine. We're losing them left and right now. It seems
no
like
kidding.
so.
No kidding.
Past would have been maybe the original Funhouse on 5th Avenue.
Yep.
That was a blast. I loved playing there.
What do you guys think of the Crocodile now that it moved? I haven't been into it since it moved, but it just seems a little too highbrow for me now.
It's pretty sweet though. I mean,
Is
it's,
it?
Yeah. It's,
I can't
Sound
judge
in
it because I
there's
haven't
great,
been
but-
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the Sniffers played there.
I feel like they're trying to turn it into like a McMinimans sort of. They've got the hotel, the boutique kind of hotel rooms up above.
Yep.
Sorry, just had to interject that.
It is like a mini, but it's a Seattle-centric sort of McMiniman. So it's not like all the hoity-toity shit catering to people that like old signs on the wall and stuff. It's just,
That's
it's a
true.
music venue, first and foremost. The hotel rooms upstairs, they utilize those as their green rooms for touring bands.
I didn't know that.
So the bands can stay there for free and stuff. And it's only a few rooms up there.
Yeah.
But they've got a comedy club stage in there. They've got a mid-level venue for local shows. And then they've got the big upstairs, which is comparable probably to in size. It would probably be like Showbox Market,
Oh wow.
Whoa.
maybe a little smaller.
Oh, just the floor. Like if
Yeah,
you didn't, have the upper.
That's the mid-tier stage?
No, that's the big one.
Oh, okay. I was going to
upstairs,
say
yeah.
that's good size.
Mid-tier would be like Chop Suey size.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
the
makes more
downstairs
sense.
there, what they're called Madame Lou's, I think.
Madame
The-
Lou's. Yeah. I like
downstairs.
I've seen the signs. I like the idea of
Yeah.
having like a separate stage. I think
Yeah.
it's great. But I haven't been in it since.
We
I don't know.
played
I was
Madame
pretty
Lou's
fond
once.
of the other spot. I feel
Yeah.
like it's been in 5 different spots. I feel like it's been 5 different things in its life.
Kind of moved like Guerrilla Gardens.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Where else?
Yeah, the old Crocodile. I played there a few times. That was fun. I've played Showbox Soto, and that's pretty awesome because you can get a really good running start
Yeah.
to get across that stage. It's a long stage.
It's a cool space.
Like literally, a running.
Yeah, I mean it's a wide stage, and you don't
tight.
realize how wide
tight.
until you're up there. When you see bands from the audience, it doesn't look like that. But damn it, when you're up there, you're not used to that much space between one side and the other.
Right.
So I did a show in my old band where I went down on my knees to play a solo, and my bassist literally jumped over me. Like just ran and jumped over me. And then afterwards people were like, "Oh man, when he jumped over you." And I was like, I didn't see it.
When you
I
guys
had
did that planned thing,
Yeah, it looked like it. I had my fucking eyes closed, so I didn't even see it.
you're like,
People
dude, I was
told me about it.
ripping. I was soloing, bro.
Fucking
I'm
awesome.
not looking. Yeah, we played shows elbow to fucking elbow, nuts to butts, dude. we
Yeah,
don't have
dude.
space in our.
Yeah.
We're doing bars. We're still doing covers and bars.
where we're
and shit.
touching the kick,
But we were talking about
touching the kick drum with our ass.
We were talking about, starting to filter in some original music and then play some real shows. The 30 minutes, get your
I think
shit
we-
off the stage shows.
Yeah.
Hey,
I kind of
missed
miss that. I miss that, man.
Yeah.
Hey, the cover bands, pack in.
I mean,
the
it makes money and it's
Showbox
like, people-
market and shit. So I mean,
Yeah.
you
Well,
might
let's
make,
play with
you'll
some
make more
cover
money
bands.
doing
We've got that in the back pocket. That's
Yeah.
the thing. We've got enough.
Yeah,
I haven't learned any new
I mean, if
songs
people
in
are
forever.
willing
but-
to pay for that, I'm willing to keep doing it. But I
too.
do,
Fuck
I do
yeah.
miss the fulfillment of being in like an original band. And,
Yeah.
and putting forth music. But
That's why you throw in an original and say, "Oh yeah, this was written by Stevie Nicks back in."
I know.
1962."
I was thinking about doing some stuff like that, or just just playing it and then kind of like feeling the room out. and
Yeah.
If they like it, say it's mine. If they don't talk about it. Right.
So you've switched spaces to see the monitors. What's going on over
So
there?
we are in Q&A section, and
All
we
right.
have some good Q&A. Like
The
we were talking
qua.
about earlier. We posted on Facebook and Instagram and all that social media to all your guys' fans to get the best Q&A possible. And we're going to start with Daniel here. And he says, when and where was your worst show and why? And that's actually a good one.
I mean, other than tonight, probably, but
Yeah.
not showing.
Yeah, you were show.
Performance. Okay.
Performance with music.
Any jump out at you?
Was it the one where I almost passed out? Like it was 100 degrees in the fun house?
We've had the craziest couple summers, right? Of
Yes.
where it doesn't get 100 degrees. I've lived here 20-ish years now.
Yeah.
Well, this
And
is new.
And it's like, this is new for sure.
Yeah.
This is not what they meant when they say the new normal, where
No,
it's
I'm sweating my ass off
100
at some of these
degrees in the
gigs.
summertime.
You know,
I have a sweat rag nowadays.
I was blacking out. Like I was really about to lose it. So I got one of them Whitesnake fans, just like blowing on me the whole time. For next time we play in a place like that with no ventilation or anything, I'm not going through that again. Like I almost got a heat stroke in there. But I don't know if we played
That was
badly.
I don't think we played badly, but that was at the Plaid Pig. Is that right?
Oh, Tacoma?
In Tacoma, yeah.
I'd say
That was the really hot, almost pass out.
no.
Right?
I mean, there was the fun house where that made me go buy a fan because
okay.
it got over 100
It's
degrees on stage.
cooking in there.
Because it was a packed audience. Plaid Pig, luckily or unluckily, it's never been packed. So,
it's not. Yeah, if you
not
have
really
a
a
show in front of
packable
5 people, that's not so bad.
yeah.
Yeah. So okay, let's do. And then it looks like a couple rapid fire. Alan McKenzie says, "Are you mad at me?"
No, Alan, I'm so not mad at you.
Lonnie's
You were
fine.
awesome.
Nate's over you.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
No, I love Alan. He's awesome. I grew up with that guy.
And then David Nunez says, "Will AI ever replace the Scoffs?" And then Ryan says, "Has AI already replaced the Scoffs?"
That's the thing. Maybe we're not actually in the Scoffs. Do you guys even know?
It's a simulated band.
We sent an email and we found ourselves here.
This is all AI. Well, that's
Who
the
knows
same.
if we actually play music or not?
Same with the podcast. We're not.
Yeah,
We're not.
We you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even do a podcast.
You guys
We
literally
showed
just
up at a
typed
house.
this into a website, and now we're all doing this interview.
Bandhouse GPT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Marcus Saxon. Which Bon Jovi song has influenced your writing the most?
She's a Little Runaway.
I'd say Bed of
good
Roses.
Great song.
Oh, the later, the later
I
Hollywood Bon
guess
Jovi.
it's
Hollywood
this time
Bon
you're
Jovi.
really leaving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you covers your mouths when you scoffs? Ian Hernandez.
Absolutely. I'm not a filthy animal.
Yep.
Chanel Crowley. Why is Goofy considered a person and Pluto considered a pet when they're both dogs? This is a great question for the Scoffs.
Pluto is smarter than Goofy, so I don't even understand. It's like Freaky Friday up in there.
Classism
great.
in the Disney
Oh
universe.
my God, what a twist that would be.
Yeah. That's
What if that's the back lore? What if they just switched bodies?
What if Goofy is like the simple Jack of
He is.
the dog world, right?
Dude, I like this Freaky Friday thing. That's hilarious.
I know, but
Disney.
I am on
Freaky
board with
Disney.
that. It's better than
I'm actually
Toy
going.
Story 5.
I'm actually going to
Whatever the fuck they're gonna
Disneyland tomorrow, so I'll check it out.
Oh, that's
Hell
right.
yeah.
So they're both dogs. It's just Goofy has like goofitis.
I'll see what's going on.
Yeah, he's just not all there. Yeah.
Goofy did
Bruce Jack says, "How do I get your vinyl?"
You can go on to thescoffsband.bandcamp.com or go to our website and click through to it to order it, thescoffs.com. But go to our Bandcamp and order it there. We will, if you're local, if you're close enough, we'll drop it off for you, make things easy. We'll eat dinner at your house. We'll keep your wife entertained while you're at the
That's so nice.
bar with your friends.
You know, I was just about to say, "Cool, come drop it off at my house," and then now I'm retract. I'm going
to retract that.
I'm like, I gotta be close enough.
This is a good one. Ron Store says, "How does Rob keep his youthful glow?" Why don't we defer to Rob on this one?
That's all lighting.
yeah.
The best way to get our vinyls to go to
What
our
is it they say?
shows.
Adrenochrome, right? Isn't that the thing
Yeah.
people in Hollywood are doing? They drink the adrenochrome. That's the baby's blood stuff, right?
Oh, that's right.
The- the Illuminati.
The Illuminati shit.
Yeah.
You have to say it in Alex Jones' voice, then I knew what you're talking about.
Talk about
Why do I
turning the
know
frogs gay.
adrenochrome?
You know.
So there you go. Adrenochrome. Derek Atwood says, "Why is Nux so damn sexy?"
Bad living and good lighting.
That's a fucking.
That's
great
be a
answer.
great song, actually. Bad living, good lighting.
It's an album title at least. Dude. If you had a hammer, would you use it? Is this lyrics? Where and what time might you use the hammer if you had one? Would a hammer incorporate itself into a Scoff song if you wanted to?
I
When
would use it all over this land,
Yeah.
for sure, as my buddy Pete would say.
I would definitely hammer in the morning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hammer in the
I'm a
evening.
morning hammerer.
all over this land.
Yeah.
All over this land.
Hammer in the afternoon.
And when I'm writing a song with it, if I do go industrial, I would say that would really free me up to do things. So it would be the hammer of freedom.
Oh my God, I could use a hammer instead of a pick.
We're quoting Pete Seeger, where it's all
Oh, okay. I was like, is this nuts?
I have no
is this
idea.
The
It's the
Scoffs
hammer
lore,
of
or is this-
warning.
Got it. Yeah. Pete Seeger, the daddy of Rebellion?
Of Bob Seger, yeah.
When you go industrial, you can hammer in some 9-inch nails.
There you go. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Oh, man.
Is this as a band?
I feel like a horse.
I have put a lot of thought into this question.
I feel like a horse-sized duck would fuck me up.
Oh, yeah.
But you
Yeah.
don't think 100 ducks would, or duck-sized horses would
I mean, I can
overwhelm
kick
you?
those.
So
Yeah, kick.
I think
100
Will
of
said of the 100 ducks, really 10 of them are tough. And if you take those guys out first,
Yeah.
the rest of them are going to take a step back.
Yeah.
You hope.
You don't have 100 ducks who have that.
They're not all
intestinal
alpha
fortitude.
ducks.
They're
Yeah.
not all alphas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
That's
not
true.
all alphas.
Just
Some of
go
them are
for
the
the
first
biggest
10.
duck. But I think about like walking through the park, and I get nervous when there's fucking 10 ducks coming at
Just
me.
actual ducks?
Yeah, like when-
But they've got you. They have you fooled. They were like, we're gonna run up to this dude. He's gonna back off, and then we're back to, pooping on the sidewalk and the dock and all that stuff.
Maybe.
And here's the thing.
Duck-sized horse, their mouth would be so tiny. You
Yeah.
do anything, their little hooves would probably feel like a massage.
And a horse-sized duck, it's not going to be intimidated if I drop my pants. 100 little tiny ducks, if I drop my pants and they're coming at me, oh, man.
Oh.
I don't know what he's getting ready to do, but I don't want to be around for it.
Just fucking, they're-
Nobody
Yeah.
wants
Right
to
back
fight the
around.
naked guy.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I would say both. Bring it on. All
And
right,
I'd fight
next
him
one.
naked.
Why does it burn when I pee? Jason?
Because we practice near Aurora, and so the guys got to stay busy.
This is like one of the
Our
guys.
music
out
is
front.
contagious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Spreading.
Oh, and we got an actual Bandhouse guest, Buck McCoy, who
Yeah.
plays for Megan's Story.
Last episode.
And do you remember when you were in Drag Strip Riot?
It says when you wear in
I
drag strip.
tried to fix him. I tried to save face for him.
Barely. But
Barely.
there were a lot of party, I'd say days or nights. There were a lot of party years in there.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, there's entire shows I barely remember. There's photos from some of them with stacks of shot glasses.
What's
How do you play like that, man?
I know.
I can't play like that. I've
We
tried to get drunk.
Because we never wrote
Doesn't work.
anything. Like we wrote, 2 albums worth of songs, and then our bassist moved to Portland, so we just were stuck playing the greatest hits forever. So
So they're unlocked.
I knew him in my sleep.
Yeah,
there were
fair
shows where I rolled around on the stage playing a solo and drank a shot with my mouth while still playing.
Fun.
I mean,
We're doing it wrong, man.
I remember some of the shows, Buck.
Yes, he does remember the idea of Drag Strip Riot.
Yeah.
Was he in the band or did he just go to the shows?
He just went to the shows.
Gotcha. So he partied with you. Probably.
Yeah.
Kevin LaFontaine, I really need to know why Rob isn't at practice or the podcast. This our day with him. Sometimes
That cracked me up because he sent it the other day when Rob was supposed to be at practice with his other band.
That's funny.
So I think
This our day with him sometimes. I feel like this is a Jeopardy question that I don't understand how to answer. Like, what is happening?
What is this our day with him sometimes?
Well-
So we share Rob. We it's like a
you guys
like
are an open relationship band.
divorced
Cool.
like a divorced
Yeah.
couple.
Yeah.
We have days
Joint custody.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
joint custody.
Wednesdays
Yeah,
and
right.
every other weekend.
And Wednesdays we have him, and I think Mondays or Tuesdays they have him.
Fair enough.
Even though Wednesdays.
so.
is
The key
better
word
day.
in Kevin's question was sometimes, and the
You
other
knew it
day
the whole
counted
time.
as one of those not
Times.
sometimes.
Yeah.
It's one of the other times. Daniel, where do babies come from?
Your mother's vagina.
John Contreras, what does the color blue taste like?
Your mother's vagina.
Chanel Crowley, who had a great question before, has anyone really been far, even as decided to use, even go, want to do, look more like? That's got to be the phone thing.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you press the
People
recommended
troll
word.
like on Twitch and live YouTube doing that.
They have, but it left a mark.
Chanel was the one that asked, why is Goofy considered a person? Pluto? That's such a great
my
question.
favorite one so far still.
Okay, Jason D. Brown, where do babies come from? Come on, dude.
The other guy's mom.
Yeah, we already know it's Daniel's mom. Marcus Saxon, Dear Scoff Band.
Scoff
This is
band.
really nice already. Which Journey song do you prefer, Open Arms or Send Her My Love?
I'm going to say Open Arms because I
Open
don't
Arms.
even know Sender My
I would
Love.
also
I am
say
definitely
same.
going to say open arms.
Open Arms.
Yeah.
Open Arms
I'm
all
not the
around.
Scoffs, but I'll also say open.
Yeah.
Open Arms. All right, next one. J.D. Reichardt. So, how much wood did that woodchuck chuck?
I didn't know a woodchuck could chuck wood.
unless it could chuck Nuck.
I've heard it. Oh, how much?
Give me that Nuck.
How much wood did Nuck chuck? If Nuck could chuck wood,
I chucked a lot of wood right before I got here.
boy can't chuck wood.
You upchucked a lot of wood.
Knock up, Chuck.
Yeah, your neighbors are going to have something to talk to you guys about. Like, I don't know what's happening in that driveway over there, but
Here's a bold one. This is an important one. Mike Johnson, how was your collective experience informed the band's music? How has it? As in past bands, influences, relationships, yada,
Man,
yada.
we got to stop taking questions because they're doing better than us. They're asking more important shit than us.
Or we keep doing it.
That's true.
And then we don't have to do any work.
I mean, my opinion would be that our experience in different bands has colored our dedication to our craft and our professionalism. In this band, we were just talking earlier today how we won't settle for that's good enough. I think we are dedicated to reaching the finish line and saying this is a great thing that we're doing as opposed to just kind of good. Lonnie?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the bands, and I could probably say this for all of us, a lot of the bands that we've been in have kind of improved our writing style over the years. You know, like I went from D-beat fast, like kind of crust punk in Bristle to a more Toy Dolls kind of stuff with Dreadful Children, which really taught me how to play solos. And now I'm in this amazing rock and roll band where we have two really freaking strong guitars.
That's tight.
So, and like, as far as the music scene is concerned, I mean, I've been around for a very long time, and I've always supported locals, always. So I even ran a venue for a while called the Morgue. It was really awesome. It was like this warehouse converted in Georgetown.
What happened? It died?
Of course it died.
It got Seattled.
It got Seattle.
It was illegal. Our legal capacity was 3 because it was zoned as a warehouse.
Nice.
But we ran for 4 years that way. Magic Wheels was next to us, a bike club. You know, and they kind of kept the cops at bay for us. So like any noise
rock.
complaint that came,
a legit punk rock thing.
serious, like the cops would roll up and they'd be like, "Is this the Morgue?" I'd say, "Nope." They'd say, "See you later." So 4 years. What
awesome.
shut us down is there's a restaurant that opened right next door, a Mexican restaurant owned by 2 like hippy dippy white women.
Well, okay.
Yeah, and they told the liquor board we had a bar in there.
That can't be good Mexican food.
It's great, apparently.
Oh, my bad.
I won't eat
I'll
there.
eat my words. Yeah, fuck
I won't
them.
eat there.
Fuck them, but they can make it.
I'm sorry about your venue, but what's the name of this restaurant?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that El Baracho? Is that
I want to know where not to go.
Yeah, I want to know what
are the
food
crossing
not to
streets
try.
tonight?
But our motto there was for punks by punks, right? We were a punk rock venue and metal venue that was run by people like you. You know, we were basically a nonprofit. We took $100 off each show. That's it.
Okay.
And then split the rest between, you know, the local bands if they were all playing, or gave it all to the touring bands.
Right.
You know, so we really took care of the touring bands.
That's cool.
So cool.
We had some great bands.
What
in
would
there.
it take for a place like that to survive besides permits?
a different city?
You can do
Bikers.
it with permits. I've figured out how. I just need a place to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, bikers for 4 years get it done.
Oh yeah, for
That's
sure.
true.
I mean, I've even figured out how to get around, you know, having an all ages venue and have adults drink. Right,
Yeah.
in the same room.
Just have a beer garden area.
Kind of. It's a 501c3. You can run it as a federal nonprofit, right? And run it as a not-for-profit art
All
gallery.
right, you're losing your punk cred. It was good a minute ago, but now you're talking
you started saying,
I don't need
corporations.
corporations. I've been around for a real long time.
My man's
Modern
smart
punk
too. He's a
attitude,
punk
man.
and he knows shit.
Yeah,
That's
man.
a double threat, dude. That's dangerous.
Oh yeah, seriously.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. So,
Yep. So I know how to do it. I
You know
just
how
need
to
the
do
money
it.
and the space to do it. You
Yep.
know, so
all right. Anything else on that question? We'll go to
No,
that.
I mean, I think as Nuck was saying, and Lonnie as well, that it's really, I think we are a collection of an avenue we wanted to sort of go down, and all the influences we bring with us to that. Like we have sort of a soft target of things in this vein, but we all have our own styles of doing things, and you know, and as being fans of music and performance and all that stuff, then that's sort of then what the mix sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, DJ Goodspin. When they were kids, what albums and artists did they listen to, and on what medium? I'm guessing you are they.
That's going to age us, talking about what mediums.
When you were kids, yeah.
All right, you got it. My first albums were on tape.
Hell yeah.
My teenage albums were on CDs. And what I listened to growing up, I started out with like radio pop stuff, but then I went to a school for bad kids for 2 years, and that's where I discovered heavy metal and punk.
Hell yeah.
And so I was skateboarding with Heshers and punks at this private school with only 40 kids in it. So I discovered Suicidal Tendencies. At the same time, I discovered Motley Crue. And so I was listening to all that shit at once.
Tight.
And then I got into rockabilly, and I started because of guitar playing. So I wanted to do Stray Cat stuff, so I started playing that stuff. So then that became a big influence on me, and then I've just kept up with all of those.
Do you have any hollow body guitars?
I do.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're you gotta have a Gretsch in the collection.
I don't have any Gretches, dude.
I had a Gretsch, but it was a solid. My only hollow that I have is a Dot Studio, and it works well enough for
hell yeah,
for that need. And so
we love Epiphone here.
Yeah, I never need. I know. You. It cracked me up watching the other episodes. Like, oh man, they are down on Epiphone, and
it's all.
RJ started
it's
it.
actually Epiphany.
I know.
You
and then
started
it all started because I got a bunch of shit for making some remark about it. But I think I'm the one who's probably owned the most Epiphones. I know.
It cracked me up though. I mean, I just loved that was the hill you were going to die on.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it was crazy. You can
someone
see
attacked
in
me
Steven's
in the
face. You can see, since I know him, I can see the moment he decided to lean in. He only plays Epiphones. Strictly Epiphone. He's only owned one Epiphone Les Paul. He just plays that. That's it. But also bass. He plays a Fender.
I'm just leaning into being the heel now.
But yeah, that's
now
essentially what he did.
I only play Gibsons.
But then we invited guests on, and they all started agreeing with us, not sarcastically.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to kind of agree with them because they were making good points. So it was a blurred line, and people were
The
pissed.
tuning pegs are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no problem. I've truly no problem with Epiphone. Never had. So I used to sell them. I used to sell them at Guitar Center.
Yep.
We sold
Same
them all
here.
the time. Yeah.
I guess I said a couple artists I was into. I said tapes. I don't know. You guys got any
we got derailed. Sorry.
big influences?
That's my bad.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of radio pop when I was growing up. Stuff like Led Zeppelin,
Hell yeah.
Pink Floyd.
Zoso, baby.
I owned a Kiss 8-track.
Hell yeah.
Well, time to end this podcast.
Hilarious.
But, once I discovered punk, it was 1983. That's when I started getting into punk. And, it was a lot of Ramones and Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
Right? And, some of the radio stuff like The Clash, of course, that's kind of what the gateway was hearing The Clash. I'm like, what's this? And I had this friend, Terry, who lived down the road, and he was totally kind of a straight-laced dude, like button-up shirts and all that stuff. And he's like, I got some shit you should listen to, right? Because I was getting into Sex Pistols and stuff. And he's like, you want to hear the real shit? And I'm like, yeah. And that's when I first heard Crass. I was like, holy fuck. And he had these compilations with all of these early LA bands that were like unknown bands, like Ill Will and fucking China White was probably one of my favorite. And that band right there taught me guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I played along to the Ramones and stuff like that, but China White taught me guitar. They taught me lead guitar. They taught me muffle picking, and basically everything that I use to this day.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
What'd you listen to, Nate?
So different experience. I grew up in the South, and so my dad, for a bit of time when I was a little kid, was a truck driver, and I would go with him on some runs. He had an amazing 8-track collection, and we would stop at the truck stops, and I remember I'm going to get some 8-tracks too, and I'll listen on, because he had one in the truck and he had one at home. And I mean, there were definitely obviously records and cassettes and things like that, but I just remember this wall, because 8-tracks just took up so much real estate to have.
Yeah.
But I remember buying, this was the first one I probably bought with my own money, was the Marshall Tucker Band. On an 8-track.
When you said truck, I was going to guess either Marshall Tucker Band or just the band.
Yeah.
I had a few guesses lined up
we
immediately.
had, all of that 70s rock kind of stuff around that he had probably found, and all the truck driver songs like Jerry Reed and the Convoy and all that kind of stuff.
CB Savage.
Yeah. The BJ McCall, all that kind of stuff. But probably like the first real rock record. I traded a few dollars and a pocket knife for Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap at a bus at the school bus stop.
It's a legit trade.
So I was like, all right, I can.
That's a dirty deed done dirt cheap.
Yeah. I mean, it was like 6th grade. And
Yeah.
That is.
Malcolm Young is kind of who
badass.
taught me to play guitar.
Yeah.
That was my first. I started off as a drummer and I became a guitar player probably because of Malcolm Young, and then eventually got more into the punk.
Dude, mine's Kirk Hammett.
Billy Joe
all
had a lot
day.
to do with it too. Green
Kirk
Day
Hammett, I was
got me into
obsessed.
like deep, like that was like my start into pop punk playing, and then
Yeah,
it got
yeah.
me into like more punk.
Well, you've mentioned him 3 times today, so yeah,
That's true.
You love the guy.
I can't go a day without it.
You love it in his tray.
Green Day does not suck.
Thank you.
No, they don't suck.
No,
See?
I would never say that. I would never say that. I love Green
played
Day.
with them, and they're freaking awesome, and they're stand-up dudes, and they like take care of
What?
Berkeley.
Yeah,
take
they
care
really
of
do,
their
man.
scene.
They the shit they do, like they'll just show up to events and play shows as like the cover-ups, and they just do a bunch of covers all night.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's legit.
Still, to
That's-
this day.
That's legit.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's be famous as any band could possibly be, and then also do covers on the side.
Yeah.
Why don't we just decide to do it and do it?
Every band should do that.
That's all
man.
it takes, right?
Just give back to the people that brought you up.
That is super cool. Did we hit everybody? Yeah, we did.
I think so.
All right. When you guys playing Tacoma again? Last question from Adam Lewis. What are some Tacoma venues?
Oh, April 1st at Real Art.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, Real
yes, yes,
Art.
yes.
Great
Real Art.
venue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Love that space.
April
Never played
1st.
it yet, and it's every time I've been down there, it's been on an off night when it wasn't open, when they weren't doing a show, and so I've only peered through the windows there. So
I've never played a gig there. I've seen a bunch of shows there though. And it's a great space.
I've played there.
You'll have fun.
It's a good but echoey space.
Yeah,
It is echoey, yeah.
Very echoey.
But it's a fun kind of arrangement, right? That show, the way it's set up.
Yeah, it's like new versus old, so it'll be like teenage kids with their brand new punk bands
Fuck yeah.
against
Dude,
the old guard, the
Wait,
established
that sounds
motherfuckers.
super fun.
Yeah.
I wonder
Yeah.
if Pat's playing that show.
I'm all
Dude,
about
Pat.
that shit.
We should get Pat
We
on.
need to get Pat on here.
Dude,
It's
Pat.
I would get along with Pat so well. They remind-
Absolutely.
these guys
That's a
remind me
good
of Pat.
point. I haven't seen him in forever, but he definitely had that.
We have a guy that we used to work with that's a punk guy in a band called the Let Me Downs.
Oh yeah,
That's what it
Yeah.
is. The Let Me Downs. Yeah.
I know all 3 of those. Well, I don't know the bass player.
I don't know. If
I know Pat and Stump.
I just remember
Yeah.
Pat as the guy that took his job seriously, and the
Yeah.
rest of us just were 20-year-olds. They're like, we just want to
Yeah.
play the gear after the store closes for 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, yeah. I remember working at Guitar Center. That first day I'm closing, I'm vacuuming Guitar Center. I'm like, dude, I'm vacuuming Guitar Center. And then a year later, I'm like, I have got to get
gotta
another
stop.
job.
I can't stand vacuuming at Guitar
Yeah,
Center.
they made me vacuum again,
Yeah.
dude. No, so Pat was a cool guy to work with. I
So
remember that.
working at Guitar Center, I have a question for you.
Yeah, him
both
too.
did.
He worked there
Okay.
much
I worked
longer.
there for 7
How many
years.
times have you heard Stairway to Heaven?
You know what? I get asked that question more than I've actually heard it. People would come in and ask me that
That's
shit
funny.
like, on a weekly
That's a
basis.
good point. I never
There,
heard it that much.
You know
yeah.
what? The
smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
any other guesses? That
Hold
was
on,
definitely
hold on,
one.
hold
Deep
on.
Purple,
Enter
Smoke on
Sandman.
Water.
Yeah.
Enter Sandman.
Not as much as you'd think, but yes.
Enter Sandman, I'll bet is
Some
like
Enter
Chili
Sandman.
Peppers or something.
Oh, God, yeah, I'm sure.
Can't Stop. Yeah, I would hear Can't Stop all the time.
aeroplane.
yeah.
Um,
That was a good impression.
You know, the day that he drew some blood under that bridge, I wish he'd drawn a lot more.
Yeah.
all along the
Love the
Watchtower.
Chili Peppers.
Oh,
Hey,
left
Chance
the-
is back.
Bass. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy.
Oh, he loves happy people with
guest
friendship.
appearance.
Favorite.
I know.
You're my favorite.
That tail is wagging, dude.
Dude, he is loving this attention today.
Trying to think of anything we missed. I think we did gears. We talked about.
Oh, I didn't tell you
venues.
what I play.
What do you play?
So I've got a Marshall.
Oh wait, good
410.
point.
I am using
I thought we did that.
I'm using a quilter head, so it's solid state.
Oh, sweet.
But I
Quilter's good stuff, man.
I got into that after I saw the Boss Martians, and Evan did our album. I really respect his opinions on gear. I saw him play, and it sounded amazing. So I was like, "What the fuck is that?" It's the size of an old '80s cable box, right? Mm-hmm. And then we played with this band Fleshies out of California, and it sounded like a honking big old school Marshall. And there were because I'm short, so I couldn't see what he was playing because there were a bunch of people in front of me. And when I saw it at the end of the show, I was like, holy fuck, all that came out of this little thing. And so I went out and got one. It was like $200 for this, and I don't have to retube it and stuff.
That's always good.
I'm super stoked on it. I never would have thought I'd go there, but I did get one. My main axes are I got two 78 Gibson The Pauls, and I like them because they're a little more harsh attack than the buttery sound of a Les Paul.
Wait, what kind of Paul?
The Paul.
It was like the budget Les Paul.
I don't know.
It was like the original Les Paul Studio, if you will.
Yeah.
It was like dot
fun.
inlays, if I remember correctly. I had a friend that had one.
And you said a vintage one? 70
Yeah, I've got
something?
two of them. One of them has Bill Lawrence pickups in it, so it's got rails that are a little hotter.
Yeah.
And the other one's got the
So you guys are full
T-tops.
rails. He's got the rails. You've got the rail. Wait,
I used
did the Telly have the rails?
Hot
I
rail.
put it in, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that guitar is sick to play, dude.
I've got the standard ones and the other Les Paul. Some kid obviously was into.
Oh yeah, so you got the Paul and then
another the Paul, but different pickups.
Oh no way!
And then and both the same year. And then I use the Dot once in a while. I have this thing called a Vaccaro that's kind of cool. You ever heard of those?
Mm-mm.
So Henry Vaccaro ran Kramer during the aluminum neck years. The forked head stock era.
Mm-hmm.
And he started this company, Henry Sr. and Jr. They started this company and they designed these guitars with that forked neck. And but this time it's wrapped in wood. And so the thing stays in tune real well. It's got a Bigsby style trim on it and stuff, but it's got 5-way selector, a coil tap. It's got humbucking and 2 single coils. So it's like a Swiss Army knife guitar.
That's sick. That's ideal for live situation, right?
So that's one of the main ones.
And unique looking, like no one else has one of those.
I love the
playing.
unique look.
Do you think Kramer did the aluminum neck with the? I thought that was Ampeg because they did the Dan Armstrong guitars.
Well, yeah, they did too. So I wonder if Vaccaro
aluminum
started
neck?
that over there and then brought it over
Maybe.
to Kramer because
Yeah.
I think it was his. I think he had a patent on it.
Okay.
And then one that I got recently is a Harley Benton guitar. Have you heard of those?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
My friend John has had a couple of those. He had a Telly that was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I'd read about them online, and people were, just really blowing up about them. How it was the best thing you could get for that price point and surprising quality and stuff. And I thought, well, here's the thing: is through my work, and I won't say where, but I was able to expense it.
Tight.
For mental health, for hobbies and stuff. And so I was like,
wow, that's reaching.
So I was like, I'll throw $200 at a guitar, and if it's shit, okay.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
I mean, you have to order them from overseas, and so I got one, and it plays great, man. I love how it sounds, and so I've played it out of the box. I'll go get a setup on it. I'll maybe raise up the pickup a little bit, but it's got a little brighter P90 in it than normal, and but yeah, great attack on that fucker. And if I break it, if I smash it,
What's the name of it again?
Harley Benton.
Harley Benton.
So I got the double cutaway style.
Cool.
And
So you got multiple guitars with P90s or just that one?
just that one.
But you got P90s, you got a hollow body, you got a Paul, you got a Les Paul. You got a good
Paul.
arsenal.
I have
my bad, the Paul.
I have
Yeah,
a
the
Saga kit Les Paul. I have an old 88 Kramer. I have a Nuno Betancourt Washburn.
What?
I have.
How's that play?
I haven't brought that out in a while, but
Yeah.
man, it plays so well.
Does it
Like,
rip? Yeah.
dude, it's so fluid.
Is he the most underrated guitar player of all time? Maybe
He's got to be up there. I mean,
Yeah.
that he's a pretty.
nobody
amazing
who's not a
guitarist.
guitar player.
this?
Nobody knows.
Guy from
Nuno
Extreme.
Betancourt. Yeah, he's
like
more
a
than
Paul
words.
Gilbert.
He
He's
sings
one of
the harmony in more than words.
Yeah.
He's also one of the best guitar players. Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, he's like a Paul Gilbert. But when you said more than words, that's funny.
Yeah, no, I know that's what's weird. He
That's
is
what
like
he's
a.
known
He's known
for, yeah.
for, but he's like this crazy.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like if Paul Gilbert worked in funk. And you're
Yeah.
like, what? Wow.
Oh
this
yeah,
guy's-
he definitely has a more funk
Yeah.
vibe. Yeah,
And I have like 14 guitars. So
That's
there's,
tight, yeah.
there's some other shit in there too.
that's cool, man. Yeah,
Do you still acquire, or is that like the cap?
It just depends on
The
what
right
I
one
find. I
comes
mean,
along.
like I just got that Harley Benton because I wanted a junior style that I could really beat up and not worry about. I didn't want to bring my 78s out very much anymore. I
Yeah.
wanted to, bang on something else.
yeah.
Oh, it's like a junior.
Yeah.
Okay, so like single P90.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't know they made one of those.
Well,
that
you
one.
mentioned Johnny Thunders. I was like, I'll go that style. You know?
Yeah.
They make
one of those.
they make basically knockoffs.
Yeah, I've
models
seen their like
after
Telly and Strat
everything.
style stuff.
That's cool.
They basically all the guitars you'd ever want to have.
Yeah.
you can get a $250 version of.
There's a what's the I can't remember what band he's from. It's not Bon Jovi. He played with some Slick guitars. Have you heard of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does them through. I'm trying to remember the name of the company, but yeah, it's like a online order company with pieces and stuff. And Guitar Fetish?
Yep,
Yeah, he does them through
Yep.
GFS. Yeah.
And I've seen one of those. Those are actually really well made too, and about the same price. Like you can get
Yeah.
kind of a Melody Maker Junior kind of double cut single P90.
Yeah.
And I think they're like $250. And
Dude,
they're really well made.
This is a fucking great podcast. We should just not invite drummers. Just kidding, Rob. I'm sorry. It's a joke.
I beat the fuck out of my instruments and gear.
You're all drummers, really. Then. It's all percussion.
I was gonna say,
It's funny. I have a cover for
I'm a
my
hybrid.
orange cabinet,
Yeah.
right? And Nuck's like, "Are you gonna put the cover on it?" I'm like, "I don't fucking care about
Yeah.
the fucking Tolex."
Yeah.
I'm a drummer, but I'm also a guitar player. But more importantly, I'm a gear junkie, so I can just time to talk about this.
Yeah.
What about your pedal board, Nuck?
Oh yeah, let's go there
All right. So I use a Phase 90.
for all
MXR.
those EVH covers.
For Van Halen.
Well, for that Sex Pistols sound, I really wanted to dial in a specific.
Steve Jones kind of.
Yeah, and if you listen to God Save the Queen, I mean, there's
Is that a Marshall?
That,
Is that a Marshall
playing
vibe?
that earlier?
he's playing a
today.
Fender.
Fender amp?
He played Marshalls live, but he recorded with Fenders on that whole
The
album.
bass man?
Yeah, I believe so.
Fuck yeah!
Tight.
Fucking
Tight.
great sound.
And so I used that to get that phase sound, like because I wanted that specifically for our song "Just Cause." It felt like a Sex Pistols style song, and so I wanted it to have that vibe. And so when you listen to the recording, and maybe you'll listen to it afterwards, you'll hear exactly what I'm going for with that descent, and you hear that phase, and it. So I use
I was gonna say Sex Pistols when I asked you the influence thing. I didn't want it to be like
You did,
some people love them and some people
I
hate
love them.
It's a very
Fuck
divisive.
the haters. I
respect you for not saying it and feeling it out, but before you guys got here, he was like, "Oh, it could have some Sex Pistols."
I mean, I don't have to love.
I definitely heard the
I don't have to love Johnny Lydon's politics these days.
I don't. Yeah, that's
But
that's
that
kind of
album
the
is
big problem I have
infallible
with them.
in my mind. I mean, it's a fucking perfect punk album.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Anybody that tries to shit on it, like the legacy of that album alone, deserves
I mean,
some
it influenced
respect from
bands.
It's
anybody.
kind of
Nothing
the
to do
punk
with punk,
credo,
too.
though, man. Like anything gets popular.
Yeah.
I know. Then it's
It's
like
like when Green Day made Dookie, like the diehard punk fans like didn't give a shit about him anymore. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
And
you
when
know,
people like Oasis claimed the Sex Pistols were their influences, that's when people were like, "Oh, it's not as cool."
yeah, man, the Ramones weren't shit because they had a song in that movie.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because they played
people have
Blitzkrieg
heard of
Bop
them.
everywhere. Yeah.
All right. This is a question I have for you guys that is going to either. Well, it's gonna show you my credibility with punk. But my first band was called Conundrum. I stand by that name. That was dope. I didn't make it up, but dope name. We played live. I played an Epiphone SG. Love Epiphone. Big band. And
Those SGs.
He's just pandering
Those
now.
SGs
Yeah,
fall
I'm
apart.
pandering.
They're dog shit.
I know I sold it quick. Anyway, we played punk rock, but we were a big fan, and I was a big fan and still am, of the Casualties. Where does that fall into the punk lore of things?
I mean, they're a punk band.
They're like really very much
diplomatic
punk.
answer. They're a punk band.
They're a punk band that exists.
Yeah.
I like them, but they're reminiscent of the bands that I listen to more. So, am I going to reach for the Exploited, or am I or GBH, or am I going to reach for the Casualties? It's not to say that I won't listen to them.
Sure,
it's just,
sure.
I lean hard into the paint with the old guard.
Yeah, for real.
And so do they. That was their influence.
Right. I get what you're saying.
Okay, as long as we're throwing them out, what about Alkaline Trio? What do you think of Alkaline Trio?
Don't know a single song.
I remember the name.
Nate, you know more alt
I know a
stuff
bunch
than
of
I
their
do.
stuff, but so let's say I couldn't tell you the last time I put one of their songs on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when some of their stuff comes on, it's like, oh yeah, this is so super catchy, and which you would hope a song would get stuck in someone's head.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
not like I don't have in my Spotify thing. I wouldn't have one Alkaline Trio song that I could immediately pop up.
Yeah.
But, But do they write really catchy, hooky songs? Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of who else, because
I would-
Casualties was all we listened.
I would say from that genre, though, I'm more into bands like My Chemical Romance.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
Used
Black Parade was a fucking masterpiece.
Oh my god, it's like one of the best songs ever.
Yeah.
And like I'm not, I recently discovered like some of that emo stuff.
Same.
Yeah.
And like it's
Seems to be widely
I know,
accepted
it's
now. Like people are like,
freaking
My
great.
Chemical Romance
I
is
missed
good.
that era of
sort
like
of coming
I
back.
wanted
Coming
to
back,
hate it.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to hate it so bad.
Yeah.
because It's like
I hated it for years. Yeah.
I'd rather slam my balls in the door of a Buick Wildcat than listen to any of those fucking bands.
While Nate is having a shower with his grandma.
He's slamming his nuts in the door. So
Have you ever given the Black Parade as an album a chance? Like
I haven't
'cause
actually,
it
but
kind of plays out. Maybe you can agree with me or disagree with me. I think it kind of plays out like Tommy by the Who. It's almost like an opera or like American Idiot from Green Day. It's like an and those were both produced by the same.
I mean, it's got its place,
Really?
and I don't think anybody that listens to them has bad taste in music.
Yeah.
I think it's just not the stuff.
Okay,
I
good,
like.
I'm safe.
I don't like nose singing. So anybody that does like I'm fucking done.
You should listen to Oasis.
Oh, I fucking hate those guys.
The way I see
man.
music and
I have
people,
to leave now.
Yeah, people that are into different genres of music, it's like telling someone not to like the color purple.
Yeah.
Right? You know, it's like it's
It's all
music. It's
subjective,
subjective.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have my opinions, but I also don't think I'm the arbiter of taste.
Do you have a band that you love that is polarizing?
Tons?
I mean, not just like or just something that like not everyone would expect you to like. Like maybe not in the punk genre.
it's like a guilty pleasure kind of question.
Huey Lewis and the News.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good answer.
That is super not punk.
Yeah, and people think they're like super. Even people from the '80s think they're super corny and stuff because "Hip to Be Square" was the stupid song, right? But their first couple albums, and it's funny because this reminds me of Patrick Bateman anytime I say it, where he's like, their first two albums were a little too new wave for my taste.
Yeah.
Their first two albums were great because they were too new wave for Patrick Bateman's taste.
Nice. Awesome.
But I mean, they were originally the band for Elvis Costello and Thin Lizzy. I mean, yeah. So Huey Lewis and Sean Hopper. It's funny. I know their name. It's not.
Yeah. He's not joking.
I know this because I like to argue with people. And so these guys were in a band called Clover in England that toured with these roots rock bands and these rock bands. And so, yeah, Huey Lewis is playing harp on Thin Lizzy's live album, if you listen to that.
That's cool.
And they're backing up Elvis Costello on his first album. So anybody that wants
What's the song they're known for, Huey Lewis and the News?
Hip to Be Square.
Power of Love. That's what I was thinking.
Gotta go back in time.
Back in time.
It's the heart of rock and roll that's still beating. I want a new drug.
Yeah, they got bangers.
Yeah.
we saw
Huey's got
them,
bangers.
saw them a few years ago at one of the casinos way up north.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, yep, there's another hit. There's another hit. It's like, you don't realize that
They're one of those bands.
18 songs in is like, oh, yeah, there's
you know
another
all
one.
of
There's
them.
another one.
Everybody
There's another
knows
one.
them.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody's watching this is gonna laugh like, what the some punk listening to Huey
Yeah, but you
Lewis. and the
started
News.
off
No, I love
good.
that.
But you know, I was a little
Yeah.
kid listening to them, and I was like, man,
You started off
biting the
credible
lip
with
and snap.
cool
That's
underground
right.
stuff,
Hey,
and
man.
and then you got to the real shit. And you're like, I listen to Huey
you got to
Lewis, baby.
find your way
shows
somehow.
openness,
And I
man.
started out with that being, the foundation, and then I added Van Halen on there and shit. And I was a huge Van Halen fan.
Hell yeah.
I love Van Halen.
What about you, RJ? What's your equal to Huey Lewis in the News?
Oh God, I don't know.
Off-brand.
What
What about you guys?
Well, again, because of where I grew up, I
you got some
still
good
will
ones.
put Molly Hatchet on nearly any day.
I was gonna say Molly Hatchet when you said
twin
Trevor. Yeah,
guitar solos. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
he's
yeah.
got a weird voice singing. They are unbelievable musicians. They are like
Yeah.
flirt with disaster. Yeah. It's a weird voice.
It's cool. I like weird voices.
Yeah, come at me. That's all right.
Come at me.
I'm telling you, it's good. So.
Hell yeah.
I'll say Oasis just because I know you will disagree with me now.
But it's like your whole thing. That's your whole brand
That's
is
my
Oasis.
Oasis. Dude, I love Oasis.
But we
For
don't.
the
The rest of
lords
the
and
band
all.
house doesn't. So
I know no one else except for me loves
They have their
Oasis,
place, but I liked some Beatles songs.
Beatles for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, it's Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't even listen to any. I don't know anything about Neil Diamond. Unfortunately,
I don't know a lot about him.
Oh,
I know
well,
his- I
Sweet
know his
Caroline, right?
Yeah.
I listen to them once in a while when I hear cats fucking outside my window.
And you want
I said the other day online that he plays his guitar like a monkey banging a rock. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, I've got another one. How do you guys feel about pop punk? It seems to be everywhere
so
these
it's
days.
interesting why I ask you to, when you asked the first question of who would you say your influence is, and I turned it around, like who did you hear?
Mm-hmm.
As we were first starting, and people were like, well, what kind of music are you guys? Or, oh, you guys are definitely like pop punk. And I'm like, not the way you say. We're not Good Charlotte.
No.
Sure.
We're not, I can't influence what you hear.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't say pop punk,
Right.
Because we're not doing that singing.
You're not
We
Blink-182.
we have backup vocals.
Yeah, your
and
singing
all
is
this-
more badass.
it's melodic.
Yeah.
Where it's still like punk
But
music.
you got the gravelly tone,
Yeah,
so it
yeah, yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
sets the pop
so
away. It's
the-
not really pop.
I feel like they're two different.
I could hear how maybe the
That
music
label gets a bad
and the melodies, maybe.
reputation,
Yeah.
Well, if you listen to the Boys from the 70s, I mean, that's pop
Yeah.
punk,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's 70s punk that was poppy. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing with the Descendants.
such
had
a weird-
gravelly voice.
I always
you know?
argued that about the first Police album too, Outlandish.
Yeah,
Too
they
Far.
had some stuff
It
on
was
there.
kind of raw and punkish and had cool harmonies.
Yeah,
and
like the Jam is like, they were a pop band, right? You know, but
The Ramones.
Yeah.
Sha la la.
That's so
la.
pop. I know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
It's so weird because popular
The
and
briefs.
punk are separate ideologies.
Yeah.
But like if you use the term the words as musical terms, you kind of have to say.
I think
pop
the
punk.
delineator is 90s pop punk.
Yes.
yeah,
So I would just as soon
What is that?
Here we go.
Green Day, Blink-182, or what? Or
I
is
would
that
just
something
as soon get run over by a lawnmower while sunbathing naked than listen to No Effects.
else? Oh, no effects. I remember that.
I'm not a fan of No Effects.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the songs, so-
Yeah, I'm not a big No Effects.
I'd rather slip and land on a sprinkler with my asshole than listen to.
I want-
That just sounds fucking fun.
Can we do a
now I'm all
super cut of
horny.
all of these?
I know,
would
I'm gonna-
rather- like he's done like 10 of them and they're all great. I,
would
want
rather
just a cut of that.
fall reaching for a book in the library and land my ass through a hi-hat stand than fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather be a bathroom attendant at a chili cook-off
That's pretty good.
than listen to No Effects or wait, who's the other guy? The Davey Havoc guy, AFI.
Oh, AFI.
yeah.
AFI.
You know what? I
AFI.
that was a band that was huge.
AFI was
when I-
huge.
I had a,
man.
I had a
never
friend.
liked them,
yeah, yeah.
but
I had a
people
friend that
liked
was super into them, and we ended up. He invited me to go to a show that they did at the market, or not the market, Soto, Starbucks Soto.
Yeah.
Probably a year before the pandemic, and I was kind of like on the fence. I didn't really grow up listening to him like he did. I gotta say, they still put on a pretty damn good
I
show.
bet they are an amazing show.
They,
But-
I was, I left more a fan than I was when I walked in.
That's always good.
Well, and honestly, and I know AFI started out sounding entirely different. So there's going to be people that
The
watch
early
this and
stuff
go,
is
dude,
awesome.
the early stuff was
Yeah.
it's totally different. And I say this stuff kind of in jest because it makes me laugh. I mean, like I said before, different strokes for different folks, and I want there to be different kinds of music, especially stuff I don't like.
That's what
Otherwise,
makes our
everybody's
shit
going to be
cool.
playing the same thing
Yeah.
as me, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. You're not
Yeah,
unique
man.
if we're all like the cool shit.
Yeah. So as far as pop punk goes, I like pop punk that comes from an earlier era. I just don't like the kind of
90s and
90s
beyond, yeah.
informed stuff.
Yeah.
The Offspring stuff, that sort of
Yeah.
California's pop punk stuff. Yeah, not for me.
Yeah.
I can appreciate it. I like that people like it, and it made sort of where there was a lull in punk music at all.
Yeah, it
sort
made
of
it accessible.
It made it accessible and great.
Yeah.
Just, not for me.
Yeah, the
That's all
Offspring
right.
is punk. I never really thought of. Well, yeah, they have fast songs that are punk.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But I always think
'cause
of-
I like the abuse.
Yeah, I always think of.
I do like early Green Day. I mean,
I was gonna say Green Day
love
is the
Green
one
Day.
band I can pull out of that '90s pop punk category. That
yeah.
I think.
He doesn't sing through his nose. He doesn't do that thing. So,
Yeah.
All the
emo
small
belt.
things.
man, I hate that song.
Dude, that's.
On and on and on and on.
We have a
and
history.
On and on.
We have a history with that song. We crush playing that song.
It's because Nuck doesn't like emo.
We fucking crush
Nuck
playing
doesn't
that song.
like the
However,
trio.
Are
yeah.
you talking about the
One time we were going to play it for $200 just to play that 2-minute song.
$300. Someone offered us some
Drunk people.
bachelor party came
Just
in
to play
and
that
we
song.
were packing up.
Yeah.
And
So the venue was like, you're
He's
done.
like, "Do you guys know Blink-182?" And we were like,
Not personally.
Not personally.
"Yep."
Yeah, we're like, we crush. Yeah, we're like, and I actually love playing. I hate the song, but I love when we play it because we laugh and it's almost in jest.
Well, and it's like the shittier you play it, the closer
Yeah,
you sound to
yeah,
the
yeah.
actual version of it. Like you just sing it with no.
the drums are fun.
I do like
Yeah.
one of their songs, actually. That weird suicide song. Is it Missing You or something like that?
I Miss You.
I Miss You?
That's a great song. Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good song,
That one?
actually. Which maybe isn't cool because it's not their early punk stuff, but it's, I don't know.
That was
Yeah,
a band I
that was-
did grow up on, and I see both sides of that coin now. Like some of it is okay, and some of it is like
And again, I don't think I'm some great opinion on music. I just know what I like.
Yeah.
I think every band has something to offer, right?
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And I mean, and a lot of those bands started in the 80s.
Yeah.
Right? I saw NoFX in 1987. Me and 14 other lucky people.
Wow.
Oh, I've got my Aqua. I listen to Aqua.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Barbie girl.
Yeah.
Aqua?
Only because Allison unironically listens to Barbie Girl, but then she swings in Dr. Jones every now and again. That song.
I forgot about that
pops.
song.
Dr. Jones, calling Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones. And then there's the guy, wake up now. The weirdest guy of all time. I actually love that song.
What about Steal My Sunshine? You into that one?
I was lying on the grass. Yeah.
Len.
Len.
Morning of last
If that
week.
song comes on, I'm dropping what I'm doing and I'm dancing, dude. This is my song, baby.
That
love
is
that
one that
song.
Taylor tried to put in our list of covers, and I said absolutely not.
Oh, I also tried to put in the other one that reminds me of that. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Chumbawamba.
I was like, we could cover that.
Interestingly enough, an anarchist collective, Chumbawamba,
Chumbawamba,
before getting a big hit.
Yeah.
They're on
like-
Crass Records.
They're
Yeah,
like,
they're-
damn it, we're rich now.
They're like actual pugs, and then they accidentally scored a big
No
hit.
way.
You watch
And then
interviews with those guys from when that song was out. They shit on all the interviews. It's
Why'd
pretty-
they write it?
that's really
And how'd they write
They
it?
told everyone to steal the record. Like, do not buy that. They said, we don't care. It made it to the record store.
Okay, so they're legit.
Steal our
Steal
record.
this
They're
record.
legit as fuck.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Well, then I
awesome.
feel
all
awesome
right.
for not.
I have a new respect for that.
It's Chumbawamba. That's what it
I
is.
take back what I said.
So that album has other songs.
I guess. Yeah, there are other songs other than just that. Yeah.
And there's like,
I didn't steal it.
yeah,
The guy that wore the suit, right? That was bricks. That was his outfit, right? He had
don't remember.
a guy. He didn't play an instrument. He just danced.
He just wore bricks.
Yeah, and he just wore bricks, and then they.
Hey, he's got his place.
I'll have to
Everybody's
listen to
got
it on
their
Apple
place.
Music.
They'd
That's
knock him
basically
down
stealing.
during the
Yeah.
show.
That's basically stealing.
Apple Music is basically stealing.
Yeah, it is.
So I'll just
Yeah.
There's
listen
also
there.
an anarchist
Listen.
band called Apple.
Ah,
And they're the old like
checks out.
80s Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't get sued by, Stevie Jobs in the gang.
Yeah, that was
There's a good band name, Stevie Jobs and the Gang.
Stevie Jobs in the game.
It reminds me of Dylan's idea, my buddy Dylan, Comey and the Tapes.
Call me in the tape.
It was funnier like 2016. It was really relevant. That shit cracked me up when he said
Call
it.
me on the PP tape.
We went as that as a gig, I think. In the Fuck Around Gang we've done.
Yeah, Taylor.
We've
John
done
Hart
the Mossy
Fuck
Rocks.
Arounds.
We've done the
Mossy
Toys for Tots band.
I've got one for you.
Jim
Yeah.
Jones and the Kool-Aid Kids.
Bowel and the Movements.
Wow.
Owl and the movements. We did Mike Tyson and the Pigeons once.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Nice.
With a TH, Pigeons.
Pigeons.
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson and the Pigeons.
Mike Tyson and the Pigeons.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Oh,
Let's
he's
close
coming
this
for
out
you now. He's
with
gonna
one
bite your ear
more
off.
question. I have one
prayer,
more question
right?
that we
Hold
yeah
hands
we
and
hold
do the
hands
prayer and-
to pray to
Yeah.
the rock gods.
Yeah.
The punk overlords. No. Advice to young musicians, whether it's they're trying to do what you guys are doing, or whether they're trying to find their place in music. It's freaking hard, and there's not a lot of leadership. Like, you can't just go to school really for
Especially
it.
now with
You
live,
can, but that's not
live
really what
music
to do.
becoming harder and harder to perpetuate.
Yeah.
And
for example, last week this person was telling you how to go on Facebook groups, and she was saying, like, if you're a female, Facebook's way better than Craigslist, because you can go to their Facebook page and make sure they're a real person with family members and they're not creepy and crazy or whatever. So that was some good advice. I thought that was kind of modern and relevant. But what do you guys got? And take your time. You don't have to.
So a teenage fan wrote me just yesterday. He's starting a zine, and he had a
Tight.
question about, so what would you tell, young punks like me?
Perfect.
And I said, well, he said, with in this new music climate and with clubs closing and stuff in Seattle. And I said, look, man, I mean, shitty music was always on the radio. You had Pat Boone on the radio in the boomer era, and the cool kids were listening to Little Richard. And there's always going to be shitty pop music on the radio, and cool kids are always going to seek out music that's not popular, and it's always going to get around. I mean, no matter what they try to do, even if they shut down every club in Seattle, there will always be underground venues that come up in its place. Live music won't die. So all you have to do is keep at it, keep finding other kids that are into it, go watch their bands. and then they'll want to play with you. They'll say, "You're in a band, you should play with us," and just do that. Start out in house shows, because like we don't get invited to house shows much anymore because we've aged out of the kids that are throwing parties, right?
Right.
I'm going to invite some old fucker to my house party, right? While my parents are out. I mean,
still play them though. So if you,
But if you do
invite us, we'll show up.
you're probably not going to invite me to just hang out in the corner. But yeah, if you want a band to play, then we'll come fucking play. But I mean, but they're going to invite each other's bands all the time. And so play house shows, because those are some of the funnest memories that I have, is doing that as a teen. And as far as clubs, we're lucky in Seattle in that damn near every live music venue will host punk bands.
Tight.
From Chop Suey has done it, and they're mostly a dance club. Tractor Tavern, who's mostly a roots rock club, has still hosted punk bands. The Sunset, the Funhouse, El Corazon, the Kraken,
High Dive,
almost rest in peace. The I mean, so almost all the venues will support punk music, whereas in other cities it's, only indie rock or shoegaze or something like that. So we're lucky here. So you have space to go work it out on a Tuesday night. The one thing I think, advice nobody tells anybody is practice your set so you're not leaving huge gaps of time between songs. I see so many brand new bands, and that's always the big fuck up is you sit there for like 5 minutes between a song while they discuss what they're going to do and all this stuff. Like, get your shit together.
Play it like it's an album at worst. You know what I mean? Like, start there and then maybe add in a little between the song stuff. But I remember focusing on the in-between, like, and then in between, you'll tune here, I'll tell an anecdote. It always is 5 minutes of bullshit when you try to plan that. Just plan for the set to fucking rock.
Three before you even say a word.
Just get them with the music.
And don't be timid. There's a band locally, Sailing Camp, when they were still relatively new. They wrote us and said, and they're doing really well now, by the way. They don't need to do shows with us, but they're playing plenty of big shows. They just wrote us and said, "Hey, we're Sailing Camp and we want to play with you." There's a good example of a young team man that's just like, "You guys have some heat on you. We want to play a show.
We want some of that."
Okay. I mean, just that forthrightness, it made me interested and go listen to their stuff.
Right. Yeah. Reach out to people, man. The worst thing is they probably won't email back. Is the worst thing.
Yeah. So then what does it cost you?
Right. And
it's
free.
And just teenagers now, or young people, whatever that means, they have so many outlets. You can record something. I mean, I'm at at home. You guys know you could have an amazing studio in your house and record something that's record quality, and you can put it on YouTube, and it's exposed to the world,
right?
And so you never know who's going to hear it. And so whereas, like even you're saying the death of clubs, if you're 18, someone's like, well, so what? I'll get the I'll get the club show when I can, but I can still make music that can be heard and appreciated by the world at large, right? So it's younger people in that way are it's a different thing that we never had the chance to. I mean, there was no YouTube, there was no Spotify, all the things that we complain about, but in reality is like when we see like our Spotify list and like a guy in Sweden played our song today, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's real.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's real. It doesn't feel real when you look at the numbers.
Argentina played our song today, and it's like, that's very cool. I mean, like, thing that would have never been the case.
That part
before.
of technology I do.
Yes,
like.
exactly. Right.
Yeah. That's really cool.
And don't film yourself lip syncing stuff. You're going to be really embarrassed by it years later.
Yes. Yeah.
Dude,
are you speaking from experience?
Guns N' Roses.
We've all done
knocking
it.
on heaven's door. Me and my buddy Travis. Oof.
We've all done it, except in my era, it didn't go out online for everyone to download copies.
Yeah,
of.
this was
Jesus.
Yeah.
It may be cool to do a TikTok lip syncing stuff now. It's going to be so fucking cringy in a couple years when you're like older and your braces are off and stuff.
And your braces are off and shit.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. Don't do it.
Yeah, you're applying for that first job, and they're like, "Hey, can you explain this?"
Yeah. You're like, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." My advice is tune it.
Tune it.
Tune it.
Tune your fucking guitar.
Anything, no matter what you do, whether it's a zine, whether it's live performance, music, art, whatever you're putting into your community, do it with fucking heart, right? Because that honesty really comes through in your playing. It really comes thugh in your art, and fuck what everybody else thinks, right? Play your music for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I play live and I write songs and Nuck writes songs, you know, I'm playing for myself, right?
Same.
For my satisfaction, and I'm just hoping that other people can feel my passion.
Love that.
And can feel, you know, how I'm channeling my emotion and stuff. So like no matter what you do, man, you can be 11 years old, you can be 60 years old. If you play with heart, people are going to know it. They're going to feel it.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, man. Yeah, I always say, like people always say, you know, play to your fans. It's all about the fans and stuff, which there's a truth to that. You know, it's if you don't have fans, it sucks. But also, if you don't play for yourself, you're not going to keep going. You're probably going to burn out.
Play for yourself and the right people
At
will
least in
follow.
my experience, I
Because
can't,
if you're into it, other people are into
Exactly.
it. Too, for sure.
they can feel that. Like I don't like a lot of genres, but if I go to a show and the band's good, I'm having a good time.
I'm into it for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
I'm
doesn't
into
matter.
whatever genre is. of the band
Yeah, I just
like.
want to see
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
craft. I want to see someone put work into something
Yeah.
and wants to share it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they're bold enough to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So scary.
Like I like a lot of Batcave music, right? And it's just like I just saw Bauhaus live, and it was
Goth music for younger
incredible.
people.
Tight. I've never heard that term, but yeah, I know Bauhaus is all goth.
My fucking god, it was so good.
Yeah?
because everybody was so like passionate,
Yes,
know?
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
it was theatrical. You know, it's art. You know, you can take it from anything from, you know, art galleries to drag shows to fucking all of that stuff. You know, it's like whatever you do, that passion, people are gonna grab it. They're
Dude.
gonna love that picture. It's gonna speak to them.
This is the first 2-hour podcast we've done. Oh, this was easy.
Sorry
too.
about that.
No, it was easy.
No,
I didn't
love
feel
it,
like
man.
cutting you off at all. I was like, as long as you guys don't have to go anywhere, I've got a couple more minutes.
I'm gonna hang out
We've
with my
almost
dogs.
filled the whole memory card.
Shit.
It's as long as we can go. But no, it's been awesome. I've learned a ton from you
Really,
guys.
it's
I'm
been
excited
super
to
fun.
listen to some of these bands that you guys have been talking about.
Yeah.
As I'm a punk virgin, basically. I literally only know the Casualties
I mean, there's a million
and
of them,
Blink 182.
you know.
Yeah.
there are
I
so
gave you some of
many.
the bigger names, but there's a lot more smaller ones.
Sure.
you
Well, you got to
Flipper.
start somewhere, you know. Yeah.
know? Yeah.
But punk isn't really music.
Right. It's totally different.
It's not
It's a
really
different thing.
genre. It's like kind of a community. It's like how you support each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because when punk started, we were fucking hated. You
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
it was okay because we were doing our own fucking thing. You know, I wasn't
Dude,
there.
what
for
is it? The
beginning
Sex
of punk,
Pistols that
just-
toured like Texas and the South and stuff, and like
Yeah.
would start fight. Those videos are unnerving.
yeah,
Holy cow! Also, respect. I love watching them.
but it was ridiculous in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, like I've heard stories from the people I grew up with.
Yeah.
You know, and like, yeah, like cops lining you up and smacking the back of your legs just to make sure you know who's boss, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
just for like walking to a show.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we'd walk around in groups because we'd get jumped otherwise by
Jeez.
like anything from, you know, crazy testosterone fueled jocks,
Of course.
you know, to like truckers. You know, it was the whole gamut of
Mhm,
people.
mhm.
Like you were the enemy.
Police. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the police
They
especially.
were number one.
Yeah. You know,
Number one
they'd
enemy.
show up and
Fucking Sting.
I got like jumped by a trucker. I got
took too
jumped by a trucker.
Damn,
And
dude.
a cop saw what was going on and drove. Just
He's like, I can't. That's
let
not
him
my
kick the
business.
shit out of me in the middle of the fucking street. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's rough, dude. Those
Yeah.
truckers, dude. No good.
Can't trust them.
Can't trust them.
Can't trust them.
Tucker on the stereo as they're
I know,
driving
it was
away.
fucking Marshall
Buying those
Tucker.
8 tracks at the looking for lot lizards.
Those Molly Hatchet
Yeah.
listening to
That
motherfuckers.
fucking kid was sitting in the cab. Oh my God.
Yep.
He
Talking on
looks
the
so
CB.
familiar. Well, if you guys want to do another rundown of the gigs, just a reminder for if anyone
Yeah.
made it through the whole podcast.
Yeah, if you're still here, come to see us on March 17th at Slim's
Yep.
to hear some Irish music of some sort. And April 1st in Tacoma.
March 24 at the Funhouse with
Funhouse.
Channel 3.
Going
That's
to
going to
that.
be a big one. That's their 40-year anniversary.
Yep.
And they've got like a record they're releasing of their like 40-year anniversary thing.
There's
And
people from Portland coming up for that show.
Dude, some
Yeah.
fun gigs
Hell
coming
yeah.
up. They all sound exciting in their
Well-
own ways.
Let's see. We'll be in Centralia April
Late April.
19th
Yeah.
Okay.
and April 18th in Longview. And
So you're doing the unconventional. So it's like 2 You're not in Olympia. We're not in Portland.
Yeah,
We're playing
yeah.
Longview and Centralia.
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
respect.
Haven't played them yet, so it'll be our first time.
Nice. Well, right on, guys. That's awesome. It's been great to meet you guys. My
Thanks for
camera's
having
right
us.
here, so definitely check them out. And any final words?
Listen to the album. It's fucking great.
Buy our
Yeah.
album. I
They
might
got music online. Yeah, that's
deliver it directly to your house.
right. Hand
It's on
delivered.
fire.
Yeah.
By
The
truck.
Lonely Ones
Yeah.
by the Scoffs. It's excellent.
Thanks so much for having us, guys.
Right on.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sure.
Coming, guys.
Finished.
Nice.
I know, that's the, you,
Got to record some.
Sounds so good though.
That was super fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you.
Yeah.